I fell off a house, Matt Peake got married, and a game dev got fired for tweeting. We got pain, love, and internet fury. What more could you ask for in this black and blue bowl of dude soup?
Take wonder, that's what they call them.
Yep.
And it shows Prelinger footage of people at a concert, maybe.
I think that's a white supremacist rally.
Maybe.
That's pretty cool.
There it is.
Wow.
The keying, listen, our computer doesn't key all that well, but that's okay. Okay, welcome to Dude Soup.
Hi.
I can still think and talk. Everything's fine. Yeah, we got a stacked podcast today. A lot of life events to discuss.
Yeah.
As one life ends, another begins. I didn't have time to fill that up. This podcast is sponsored by 4 sponsors because I goofed last week.
Wow.
Yeah, I read the wrong week's worth of sponsorships, and now we got a couple of makeups to do. That is still 90 minutes, though. We're just going to cram it on full. So this podcast is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club, Marvel Puzzle Quest, Burrow, and Casper. You can get your $5 daily essential starter set at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. New players can download Marvel Puzzle Quest using our link in the description or go to d3go.com/dudesoup. Get yourself 3 free tokens from the Partners in Crime Vault. Yes. You can visit burrow.com/dude for $75 off your purchase. And you can get $50 off select mattresses by going to casper.com/dudesoup and using promo code dudesoup at checkout. You're already doing it.
I was going to say, new players get something, but what about players who are on day 1689?
Yeah.
1600?
Yeah.
That's
What do I get?
That's 5 years? Wait.
I'm only at day 923.
Oh my God, that's
Pathetic.
pathetic.
What about those of us that are going to have to look at this dark hair on the floor for this entire...
Oh yeah,
Whose is that?
There's a long windy one down
Who
there.
is that?
Cool.
Who
I
could
don't
that
know.
I
belong
don't
to?
know.
People just come in here.
That's
No
a
one
mystery
cares.
hair, guys. We got a big case to
Cancel the
solve.
podcast.
That's what we're talking
no, but
about this
seriously,
week.
Okay, it could be
crimes.
Jade's
Okay.
hair.
But
could
why
be
is
Vicky's
it,
hair.
There's no reason
Autumn's.
it should be out here, though. Sorry, Lawrence.
No, it's okay.
The mystery of the jade hair.
Believe me,
How many years is that? Did you find out?
4.3. But
4.3.
as you occasionally bring up, they didn't track days at the very beginning either. So there's a chunk in there that.
And I'm pretty sure there's a day that you didn't play.
There's not. It's all up there. It's all up there.
It's playing. Oh yeah, I need to start these fails.
Can I give a shout out?
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane
What does that
Phillips.
mean, by the way? I've always wondered.
Shout out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
To our building manager, Tori,
Shout out
who
to Tori.
has purchased baby wipes for the bathroom.
All about. There's none in ours.
Nope.
What the
Interesting.
fuck, Tori?
mean,
said,
I'd like to give a shout in.
I specifically asked him if
To my dirty butthole.
I asked him like last week. I said, "Hey, can we get some baby wipes for the ladies' room?" And he said, "No problem." I thought I would never see the day. I would never live to see the day. Today he hands me 2 packages. Says, "Can you put these in the restroom?"
Which is actually the way I
So wait,
take
he
it.
handed you 2, and you put both in the ladies' room.
yeah.
Interesting.
I
see.
guess I could run over one of the men's,
see. Yeah,
I
but
think you
No, I
should.
see.
I'll think about it.
Or Tori, in a passive-aggressive type way, said, "Starting to smell like fish in here with all the
I don't-
women sticking up the
Ooh,
joint."
someone would wet and white.
Yeah.
I don't use them to clean my vagina. That's like the worst thing
Yeah.
you could do for vaginal health.
You got to maintain the bacteria.
that.
I don't
Yes,
think so.
I doubt
exactly.
that.
I
I'm
don't-
going to disagree.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree.
Doctor? No.
That must be exhausting. I've
Vaginal
thought,
health, yes.
Yes. Of the many ways that I'm bad at even maintaining a male body, which is not that hard. I'm going to be honest. I can't even. I would fall
You
to pieces.
can't even maintain
No.
it.
I was gonna say,
though.
I'd
never-
be pregnant like 8 times over, and my vagina would just be crusted over. It'd be
I've never had a
horrible.
cavity in my teeth. So I can only imagine if I can take care of my mouth, I'd be able to take care of a vagina, no problem.
A vagina is a
hole.
permanent cavity. You never get to fill it.
No, but it's a
occasionally.
mouth.
You fill it every Wednesday.
It's a mouth, but you
That
get
in
to
my
close your mouth.
notes about your
Yeah.
marriage.
And it's not next to something
We
that
don't plan
piss
this.
falls out of.
I mean, sometimes you vomit.
That's true. Sometimes. Again,
to a vagina.
So
Someone's
listen,
done it.
It's easy. Vaginas are easy. Okay. Have you ever tried to clean the underside of your scrotum? No, you haven't. So
I
you
do
don't
that
know.
every time I wipe my. If you don't, okay.
No.
Hold on.
People that go back to front get shit balls, but
Well, you're
Why
not
do you do
supposed
that?
to. They're
not supposed to.
savages.
No, okay.
Those are savages.
because
like
a
people in
lot of
Australia.
people miss the under lip. You go back to front to make sure
Yeah.
you don't get shitty balls.
Yeah.
And then you do
Oh, wait,
one
no.
opposite wipe because you'd be surprised how much is in there.
No, why would you go back to front ever?
Because there's surfaces you don't scrape the other way.
I feel
There's
like,
no reason that anything would get on those surfaces
I mean, as a woman, you have to go front to back.
unless you
Aren't
wiped
you?
it there.
Yeah, I was gonna
happens.
say, now you're just bringing the crayon to the front.
Yeah.
You don't
If you
want
just go to the source
Yeah.
and then away.
The last thing you want to do
you're
is
safe.
bring any fecal bacteria toward your urethra.
Well, ours are
Not that
dangly.
I mean, obviously
We're
you
like
have a
it's like a
distance.
Renaissance doctor with the nose way down.
Have scientists invented like a butt plug yet? But that
Yes.
but like a Japanese toilet, it just like spins and like sprays the inside of your clothes. That'd actually be kind
like
of nice.
the shower cleaners.
Yeah.
That like you're just like, I'm done showering. You
Yeah.
press the button and it goes.
Well, imagine one. So it's not like those like girthy ones that
no.
most people are into.
Yeah, streamlined.
Like more streamlined. But then when it goes in, you goes zzz, and just a little bit, so you know it's activated. But then it plays a little song. It goes,
You guys don't dip a finger in when you're
That's not
wiping?
what's weird.
What's that?
You guys don't dip a finger in when you're wiping? I can't even finish.
that sounds
I have been really constipated one time. I took a lot of antibiotics and it basically created a fist-sized piece of shit that was solid as a rock in my body. And there was a point where I was like on the toilet, I was like, ah! And I was like just like using toilet paper to just like tap on it. And I was like, it's so hard. It was like if you're doing this, that's how it felt.
We were trying to record that gameplay and we heard him screaming.
Did that
in the
happen?
bathroom. No, I'm just kidding.
It wasn't.
I have read stories on the
internet.
internet of people who
guys
had to shove a
don't
pinky
invite
up
me
in to break it up because it was like it formed a cap.
Yeah.
Hey, we all do stuff occasionally.
That's all right.
To the other three women watching, I don't know if this is a thing for you, but for me personally, showering and not having like a shower nozzle that you can take and like
Oh, yeah.
Masturbate with.
masturbate with and clean yourself. It's just like that's your undercarriage.
Throw a leg up on the wall.
You just go like
And
that.
then rock your hips forward, put your arms on the back side to balance
I
yourself.
just like a child grab my balls and lift them up like this.
Give yourself the bow tie.
And I just go.
He's golden gray.
Speaking of a child like that, at least I did a lot of traveling lately.
Yeah.
And I was in
whatever.
an airport restroom using a urinal next to a grown man and some kid who was probably like 4 or 5. And then the dad was like, no, don't pull your pants all the way down. Just pull the front down. And the kid was like, I can't.
Aw.
He was like, no, just pull the front down. Just don't, no one wants to see your butt. And he goes, I can't do it. And I was like, why would you say that to a child?
Yeah.
Like, you
Expose
know that
yourself.
they're physically enabled. Like, they can't do that. They can't pee that way.
It's also funnier when they don't. So, yeah, I think he was tired of seeing his son degrade himself in that way and thought it was time, but it clearly
What if
wasn't
there's a
time.
predator in there?
What if it was the dad?
I want to see that.
If
play.
God didn't exist, then why is there stitching that goes from your anus to your scrotum?
There's all sorts of problems with this.
How come there's a line?
Man,
don't-
speaking of women, have you heard about the husband stitch?
What?
Wait,
My
what?
eyes are open to the barbarism daily.
Wait.
So, if a woman gets a C-section,
Yeah.
male doctors often give the husband stitch, which is just like an extra little loop that, like when they have to snip the shit between, well, literally between the asshole and the vagina to let the baby come out. They stitch it back together, and they give
Yeah.
one extra just to tighten it up a little bit. Except it actually doesn't tighten anything. It's terrifically painful for the woman.
So
Hold on.
Wait,
Those are two different things. A C-section.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Cutting-
You're right. I'm
cutting
sorry.
the
Yeah,
vagina
and
and the
that's-
anus.
No. You're right.
Yeah,
I used the wrong term.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah.
Whatever.
I was gonna say, you've been getting really bad C-sections.
No, whenever
C-section.
whenever they have to snip the business, the
Yeah,
perineum
yeah.
or whatever,
They got to open it up.
Yeah.
they'll tighten it back up, but then male doctors typically will sew it up a little more.
They think it's going to improve vaginal tightness.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
assholes.
Yeah, Google it. It's
no,
horrifying.
No, it's the vaginal, yeah.
I think, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have children, but if I were
Or you
to,
can.
but if I were to, I think that the act of cutting the perineum, the taint, that's a very sacred event, and I would want someone close to me.
Like break a champagne bottle on it.
Well, and it can't be the husband.
me.
Maybe like
It
a
can't be the
rabbi.
husband.
I'm holding
No.
the Handycam from 1989.
Yeah.
I'm playing an Enya CD
I think it needs to be like a good friend or a coworker
Yeah.
to like snip it.
to snip it. And
Okay.
I mean, I used to think my old roommate Jake would
I
do
say
it.
snip as though it's not a pair of garden shears that go in there
Yeah.
and slam it.
But he's Jewish and religiously he's not allowed.
No, so
Shalom.
I'm taking
make arrangements now.
applications, I guess.
I guess once you catch the bullet, you got like 8 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's probably enough time.
We
suppose so.
we were talking to Bones' wife a little bit over the weekend, Allie, and she was talking about because she's a doctor.
Allie's a treasure.
She was giving us all sorts of info about epidurals and like
Oh, yeah.
all these magnificent things about like how a spinal tap works and. I see Jess because obviously we've talked about like one day maybe we'll have kids and I see Jess going Oh,
Yeah,
God,
it's wincing.
no.
I would say just like cut me open.
Vic in chat says it's an episiotomy. So thank you for that.
That's when they cut the taint.
Snap it
Just
like a
say
rubber
cut the
band.
taint, Nick.
Yeah, taint snip.
Cool.
A
Now,
taintologist.
I want
Taint
you
whip.
to think about.
It's a taintable.
I want you to think about all the women throughout time,
No,
because we have things now.
they're just throwing dirt and like squeezing a lamb's
Yes.
blood over it.
Yeah.
Well,
There,
they
it's
were
better.
turning butter and went, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, you have to
Hair.
like pack that shit with peat moss to get it to heal.
Well, they basically like there'd be a nurse whose sole job it would be to remind the woman that don't worry, there's a pretty good chance she'll die during this. Like just wiping the sweat from her brow.
It's okay.
If you're lucky, you'll live long enough to see that it's a boy, and then it just
Well, and you know when they're going, you just lie to them. You're like, it's a boy. Oh, she's
Yeah.
gone. Fuck. I hope she heard that.
all right, dash it amongst the rocks.
See if it's strong. Throw it off the cliff. Speaking of falling, not that we have to segue away from biological toxicity.
No, it's fine. It'll
Whatever.
come back
Yeah,
up.
we'll spin it back around.
It's fine.
Taint stuff.
So while I invite everyone here and the audience to mock me openly for my idiocy, I want to disclaim real quick that while I will discuss this in a way including levity and humor, what I did is very fucking stupid. I caused people that care about me to worry. Well, the one person that cares about me to worry. And I ruined a pretty good evening of watching fireworks. So even though it's funny now and nothing bad happened, something bad could have happened, and I exercised very poor judgment. So I am not in any way something to be aspired to or imitated in this regard, but in all others, yes. That was a weird sound. All right, so I fell off a house. Here's the story of what happened.
Fell off your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just a
specifically.
house. That's almost a more interesting story.
I guess a couple of predicates. 4th of July in Los Angeles is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Fireworks here are illegal, but everyone sets them off. It's a literal war zone. You can hear like rolling explosions.
It's only getting louder and bigger every year too, which is weird.
Yeah, it's fun because like since I did move into a house, a rental home, and I was very excited to climb up on the roof to be able to watch all the fireworks. Because typically, if you're in an apartment, you either have to go somewhere or like get onto a parking deck to get a good view of the city. So I was really excited to get up there, and I didn't have a ladder. Ladders are kind of expensive, it turns out. I still intended to buy one, but just didn't get around to it. The first of many dumb decisions. So in the days leading up to July 4th, I had a stepladder. It's about 5 feet tall, plenty. I found the side of my house where the chimney is. I found that if I got on the stepladder, I could climb onto this concrete wall that separates my property from my neighbors, get from there onto the sloped side of the chimney, and then from there, just kind of prop myself against the roof and the side of the chimney and push myself up.
Oh.
Worked like a charm.
Chimney sweep.
Yeah, essentially. I was a regular Dick Van
Sounds
Dyke.
like parkour.
It was. Thank you for saying that.
So you had no other option available to you but to climb on this roof. Like, what was Stephanie doing while you were on the roof?
She was safely on the ground setting off fireworks.
So you could have been at ground zero, at the epicenter of actual fireworks.
Was there a discussion before you climbed where you were like, I'm going to leave you on the ground and go watch fireworks on the roof? Or
No.
were you drunk? Or like,
We were both drunk
Okay.
because we'd been playing Rock Band and drinking all day.
Were
So
you playing the Yacht Rock
yes.
pack? Okay.
Well, I haven't played that yet, but I did
Okay.
buy it. God bless you, Rock Band. So yes, James, to your point, Stephanie, for some reason, trusts me with the many physical things I do in this world because I've yet to seriously injure myself. This has kind of broken that trust. But the idea was that she would come up with. However, when she climbed up the stepladder, got on the concrete wall, and then noped right out of there because she
Yeah.
very wisely
Yes.
determined that it would not be safe.
yes.
So she was on the ground, and that's essentially part of the problem. So I was up there having a great time, just feeling it. I had also packed a backpack full of like beer and a pillow to sit on.
It's like you're running away from home.
To your own home.
Yeah,
He's been gone for 6 months.
I had a stick with like a polka dot bandana tied around the end.
A bindle.
Yeah. My plan was original plan. Yes.
Let's use that term loosely.
Was to get up there, drink myself silly, watch all the fireworks, and then by the time like 11:30 midnight rolls around and the fireworks are dying down, I'd be sober, I'd be able to climb down in full command of all my
Assassin's
faculties.
Creed. Right into the haystack.
Link jumping down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've done it many times. I just didn't have a controller in my hand this
Well,
time.
when we were at Let's Play Spring Break, you got up on that roof. And that went fine.
Yeah, but that had stairs.
Oh yeah.
That had a ladder.
That was a good
Oh,
use, though.
that one. I
Yeah.
thought you meant the other one, where I also got on the roof.
Oh.
I also do like climbing things a lot. I just like climbing.
God
I
forbid
used
if
to
I have a child like you. Stop climbing. Get off the dang roof.
My taint.
I grew up in Texas, and there wasn't a whole lot to climb, so it was kind of a soft blessing.
My friend and I would like go out her bedroom window and then lie on like the awning in front of it and suntan on that.
Kiss.
Though it was like really hot because we would do it during the day, and then the
I agree it
tar
was
on
hot.
the tile, the shingles would get super hot. But you said you were cold up there. In fact, you hadn't even planned appropriately.
No, I was wearing my, I'm glad you brought that up. I was wearing my American flag romper, so I had short sleeves and short legs. So yes, with the wind picking up and California evening rolling in, it was getting pretty cold. And about that time, as the wind picked up and I, alone on the roof with a beer in hand, watching fireworks, there was a breeze of wind, and then I looked down and saw my loving girlfriend on the ground alone.
no.
I was like,
It
gosh.
blew the trap door of your onesie open in the back. And your butt.
Lawrence, which way have you been wiping?
Sorry.
No, I love butt flaps.
I do too.
But I did feel a pang of regret, and that I was leaving my dear sweet Stephanie alone on this July 4th. So despite being at the height of drunkenness, I was like, I gotta climb down and like spend some time with my sweet girlfriend. So so I was like, I can do this. This is not a problem. Done this a million times. Okay, no problem. So I actually did the hardest part of it just fine. I propped my hand on the roof there, propped one hand on the chimney. I was like, I'm gonna be smart about this. I said to myself, I know that I'm not 100% sober. I'm gonna be very careful and slow. So
The deduction.
I know. Can you imagine such a man still able to think in such level? So my old rock climbing kicked in. You can imagine. It's always 3 points of contact, and then you move the fourth. Like you never want to just be two because then you wobble. A triangle, pyramid, world's most stable shape. So I was doing all that stuff. Good. I actually managed to like prop myself down on the chimney, got down on the concrete wall. Everything was great. Now the problem is stepping down to the stepladder is in an unlit. Oh, hold on, gotta click on.
I like this. I'm curious what's up in bottom right there.
Scary pranks.
Oh, never mind.
That's not really.
That's not relevant to us.
I'll click on it. Yeah, people got to be falling and hitting hard like that guy. So once I was on the concrete wall, that's when I'm in trouble. Now I only have 2 points of contact, my feet. So you could, and I'm also stepping down into a completely black alleyway, where a stepladder is down there somewhere. I go down, I put a leg down, and it just keeps going, and then I just tumble. And as near as I can tell, I think I went head first, because I remember bashing my head on something and then hitting on my shoulder. And the frustrating thing is the second I hit the ground, immediately I was like, God damn it, Stephanie's gonna be so worried. So how high is the concrete wall? Says Otter in chat. I wanna say it's about 5 feet tall. So it's about equal with my shoulders if I'm standing upright. So I from squatting on that, fell to the ground. So about a 5.5 foot fall or so. But yeah, the second I hit the ground, I'm like, God damn it, that shit really just happened. I was already really upset that I knew I was going to make Stephanie really upset because she doesn't deserve that. Oh yeah, so we got, hold on. This is, I think, yes. So this is from my girlfriend's Twitter feed. This is me at
Bring her into this.
this is me at Peak Hero, being. And that's
You have the freedom to kill yourself.
Basically,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all the evidence insurance needs.
yeah, basically, I could have at one point, at any point, changed out of the romper, but decided against it because I felt like it was too appropriate.
Yeah.
So
That's one of those clothes you have to like take. If you want to take a poop, you gotta take the whole thing off.
yeah, you got to zipper it all the way down.
Like a union. Well, if you have
Like
a
a
union
kid in an
suit
airport
which has the
bathroom.
flap, you don't need to do that.
You're right.
Rompers are the worst.
So I hit the ground. I picked up the pieces of my glasses, and then so do a little body evaluation. It's weird because there's like different kinds of pain. There's pain that's like ow, and then there's pain that's like oh shit, something's really broken. It didn't actually feel like anything was broken, and I was like, that can't be right. My toe was kind of numb, so I was wiggling it and like pinching it to make sure the bones were okay. Totally fine. But I saw a drip like fall in front of my eye, and I was like, oh shit. I thought I would just be able to get up, have some scrapes, and maybe like play it cool, like walk out to Steph after I like snuck in the house, clean myself off, and be like, babe, I tripped, nothing's wrong.
Seducer.
Yeah, right. Let's make out. Once I saw the drip, I was like, damn it, this is gonna get more complicated. So I didn't know what state I was in at the time, and then I started strategizing. That's when the chess pieces started moving around in my head.
Yes, chess.
So, so Steph is in the front yard. That's also where the front door is, and I don't have my keys because I'm wearing a romper and underwear and nothing else.
Everything's wrong.
I was barefoot, by the way, because I needed the grip. I needed that grip to get up on the roof. My Spider-Man feet.
Grip didn't help you.
On the way up, it did. So now I'm thinking, okay, how can I get in the house without Stephanie seeing me, so I can get to the bathroom, like clean up. So forward is the easy way, but it also passes Stephanie, who's in the street setting off fireworks. If I go the other way, which is through a bunch of gravel and sharp rocks and a garden, I can go around the back of the house and get in, hopefully undetected. So after plummeting off of this stupid wall, I'm also like walking through the backyard, shoving my way through shrubbery and stuff like that. I round the side of the house, and she's moved over to that side. So she knew somehow. She knew the second it took more than 5 minutes for me to get down that something had happened. So she was just waiting for it, basically.
Either Lawrence fell off the roof or Santa's early.
Yeah.
So let's go figure it out.
Santa sure to swear a lot. So then I was like, damn it. All right, so I know I hit the left side of my head. So I'm like, I can probably, it's probably just a scrape. I'll just walk inside it, it'll be fine. So I'm like trying to use my arm to sort of...
The Phantom.
Yeah, I'm Phantom of the Operating my way inside. And the second she sees me, she's like, you fell, oh my God. And like, she's very worried, obviously.
She loves you.
She does. I'm sorry for that. So I managed to shuffle my way inside, and I walked through the house to the bathroom, and that's when I realized I can't, like, I probably need medical attention because there's this huge gash, like, through my eyebrow. Also, it's already really swollen. And that made it look even worse.
Yeah.
It ended up not being that big of a cut. You really can't even see it right now. Yeah. I looked out. I really did. But at that time, since it was all swollen, it looked like a giant cyst that was in the middle of popping open. Oof. Yeah, it was gnarly. So I wipe it down with some toilet paper. I'm like, maybe it's just a bump with a small cut. So like maybe the swelling will go down, I'll just ice it and I won't need stitches. But once I wipe it off a little bit, it's pretty clear it's a pretty big cut. I'm like, fuck. Now I have to go to like the hospital on July 4th sit there with all the people who've blown off their hands.
Yep. They have a ton of issues on July 4th.
Was there anyone else there in the waiting room that was a casualty of a July 4th accident?
Shockingly, no.
Huh. Just you, huh? And did you go in your America onesie?
I did. I did not change on purpose. So, and it had like one streak of blood right under my eye.
The diagnosis here is that you're an idiot.
Yeah, I knew that.
You haven't looked at me yet, doctor.
$500 now, please.
I could tell. So then Stephanie, God bless her, saint, starts calling urgent care places to find one that's open. So she found one that wasn't that far away, and was like, she just gave me the address, like, here it is. I was like, okay. So then I start looking for ride shares because we're both pretty drunk.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, and the pickings aren't thick. It's July 4th, right?
Sure.
Not a lot of people are driving Uber or Lyft because they're enjoying their holiday responsibly.
I'm surprised they're not doing surge pricing. Generally, they combat that with like surge pricing.
Yeah, making a lot of money. No, I was originally doing Lyft, and it does that thing where if you call a car, it'll like show a ghost car of the one they're reaching out to. And it was like Hollywood and stuff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there was nothing.
Wow.
So I was like, oh God, either I'm gonna have to wait an hour for a car to get here, or nobody's gonna take the fare, which they didn't. So then I switched to Uber. There were more cars driving Uber, and I kept calling for them. 2 or 3 would take it, but more than once they would take the fare and then just start driving away. Oh. And then I would be watching the little toy car on the phone, being like, please turn around, please turn around, please turn around. And they just keep going.
Weird.
I'd call them, they wouldn't answer. I think a lot of people were just done for the night.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 of those went by, and this is already like 15 minutes of just trying to get a car. None of them are taking me, and I'm starting to like weigh the options. Do I drive? No.
Call an ambulance, and you eat the extreme.
Yeah. My options at that point were wrap a towel around it and wait till morning, which wasn't that appetizing, or call an ambulance and like pay $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, eventually an Uber driver did pick us up. I was holding a towel to my face. I apologized profusely. Didn't bleed, bizarrely. We got dropped off at the urgent care and it was a ghost town. In the middle of me filling out the paperwork, like the insurance stuff, the doctor arrived. So they called her in. It ended up being okay because a family did arrive while I was getting stitches with like a baby that had a discharge. I overheard that, so that's something.
Got kicked out of the military?
Yeah.
Dishonorably.
Sergeant Baby, you're not good enough for this war. I love the, not that I don't want to do it, the geopolitical thing, but it is always funny of like, I was celebrating my country's independence, but God, I didn't want to get an ambulance because it would cost too much because they have the freedom to charge out the ass for me hurting myself. Thank God we have a job with healthcare though, so that's good.
No, it's, to that point, shout outs to Rooster Teeth for our pretty good health insurance because when Stephanie called and asked if you're open, the only question was, what kind of insurance do you have? And she said PPO, and then they said, yeah, we're open. So it could have been a lot worse.
God. Like what do you got? American Express or MasterCard?
Yeah.
Oh, Black Card, come on in.
Yes. You can keep your eye today.
God bless.
So they escorted me back, and I just remember sitting in the doctor's chair with the sounds of explosions everywhere, just like head aching. And the doctor eventually came in, numbed it up, like injected anesthetic, stitched me up, which I always wondered what it would be like to get stitches while conscious, and now I know. It's a little weird.
Oh yeah, it just feels like it's tugging.
Yeah, because if they numb it up, it's just you can feel the tug of the
I
skin.
never got stitches unconscious. I've got my leg stitched up, and I've got my face stitched up. Actually, I got stitches in college once because I got my lip split open, and they were like, so the good news is we can stitch you up and everything will be fine. The bad news is we can't give you anesthetic until we start stitching you up, because when you give people anesthetic, it causes the area to kind of balloon up.
Oh, yeah.
And it was it was basically split my lip, and they're like, so if we do that, we'll try and line it up, but then it'll be crooked.
Okay.
Like your face won't, your mouth won't line up anymore. So they're like, we have to do the first stitch to line everything up.
It's like getting a lip piercing.
And so then they did the first stitch.
You're as brave as a rebellious 14-year-old teenager.
And then they did anesthetic, and they're like, all right, now we'll do the other 4 or whatever.
I've only gotten them awake on my back, side of my boob, and my hand.
I watched the one on your back. I watched them stitch you. It was amazing.
He said more. He said, do husband stitch.
It was amazing how they
up that
stitched
back.
up your back. Because they did the thing where they do the underhook stitch, where you couldn't even see the stitches. Like they pull the bottom, they cut so deep that they had to pull the bottom layer. You always think about just like pinching the skin together and stitching it. But that doesn't work when it's really deep, because you have to basically pull the tissue together at the bottom.
Right.
So they had to do this one stitch that was beneath, so that way, I don't even know how, so like, they pulled it out through the top, and then that pulled it in, but then when they trimmed it, you didn't even see the stitch.
Wow.
I don't know. Stitching's amazing.
It's a real dirty scar. The scar on my boob is really funny though, because it looks like
It's a little lightning bolt.
well, it looks like a stitch that you would see like in a cartoon where it's like the
Harry
line
Potter.
with the dots.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. Come check out my scar. It's like the line with like the dots on either side, like a comical stitch.
Yeah.
I got one of those on my palm.
When they removed, I had a growth on top of my head. It's still kind of there.
That's
but
your twin.
Yeah. they said it could be cancerous, but they're like, it was under my insurance at the time. So like, we might as well just take care of it. When they did it, they stitched my whole head back like up. So I kind of got like a facelift, I guess, kind of. But I think that's why I can only really comb my hair to one side.
So did you frown even more before that?
I think I was just real like
Real
man.
frowny, and then it
Are
moved
you
up to
sure it
just
wasn't
kind
like
of frowny?
Voldemort in the back of your
Maybe.
head?
Yeah.
Growing out.
Everything's Harry Potter related.
I think
It
that's
all
today.
comes back to Harry Potter. I'm
coming back.
You know what? I
What?
want to make this announcement on the podcast, but I've been thinking of rereading the Harry Potter books for the first time.
Yes. Wow.
Thanks. It's
You
been,
heard it here first.
It's a Dude Soup exclusive, everybody.
Huge.
It's been about 7 or 8 years, and I think I don't reread them because it doesn't feel constructive, and I feel like
Oh, I see.
I would just kind of be in a rut.
Let me know when you do that.
Yeah.
I would like to reread them as well.
I almost did it this weekend.
Can you go to the LA library on this weekend and like look at the plethora of books and every story that could be told, and then go, nah, Harry Potter
Give me
again.
a whiz!
Yeah, I hope it kills Voldemort at the end, but it's kind of
Whatever. Harry Potter's better than
Convoluted.
99% of books.
That's what makes me feel guilty, though, is because for me, there's such a like nostalgic.
We're all gonna die. Have fun.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. 'Cause I was,
Life's
Take
too
advice
short
from
to
me.
give a
I was
shit.
talking
I
to
don't know.
Hannah about it,
Have
and
you
I was
read,
like, I
like-
shouldn't have this existential crisis about reading these
Have
books.
you read like Huck Finn or like
Yeah, sure.
All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yeah, whatever. These are all American. I mean,
These are books I
But
grew up.
have I read
reading.
Anne of Green Gables? Yes.
I did that thing. I did the thing too where I was like, this is again audiobooks clarifier. But I was like, hey, if reading's this easy, I should listen to all the classics.
give me the
And so I
classics.
basically brought up like the top 50 books you should read before you die. And I was like, Crime and Punishment.
Oh. boy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like a good one. And I got halfway and I was like, ugh, never mind. I'm out.
no.
I'm out. I'll read
books
the
were
wiki.
those books were classics when there was nothing else to do.
I mean, some of them are classics. Like a lot of Dickens
Yeah.
is if you can get through the language is like, wow, what a brilliant story, amazing characters.
You just like the
everything
racism. Oh no! I'm thinking of like Huck Finn and all that.
that. Oh.
Who? That's Mark Twain. Never mind.
It's not racism, it's reality.
I'm sure there's racism in that too.
Well, what do you mean by racism? Him writing the way the times were is not
That's true.
necessarily
It's
racist.
funny. We were talking earlier. Bernie was in the building.
Oh, and
we
then
were-
it got
we were-
real racist,
well,
I bet.
Well, we were talking about. We were talking about the upcoming kind of funny comedy, like.
What? Everyone knows, yeah.
Everyone knows
there
about
were people
that?
there while
oh,
we
that's
were
right.
filming.
Okay, never mind. The upcoming kind of funny comedy doc. I forget like what is in the public.
What is real
No.
and what is not real?
You think
Is he
Variety's gonna have like
smart?
a
Oh,
spread tomorrow? Like, Elise spills the beans on upcoming RT doc only available on RT site.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that doc, and then Bernie's like, oh, and I was like, I don't want anyone to ever see it because I get really self-conscious about people watching.
That's very
me.
selfish of you to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you'd only watch it for yourself.
Like when Wu-Tang Clan made that album exclusively for that pharmaceutical asshole.
Did that actually happen?
Martin
Didn't he
Shkreli.
buy
he
that,
just
that one
bought it.
dude?
Oh, okay.
Didn't it
He
get
bought it.
confiscated though?
Yes.
I feel like it got yanked back from him.
So I asked him if he could go into the Rooster Teeth vault so no one can ever see it, and Bernie went, "Yeah, we talked about like getting a vault, and then we just put like we."
You guys are talking about two different things.
Like a
And
literal
then, and then
vault?
the Disney vault came up, and he's like, I forget if you said it or he did, but like, do you think that they had stuff in the Disney vault, but then they like let it mature over time and then removed the things that were racially insensitive or culturally
That was
insensitive?
him theorizing, yeah.
But I think we should make a Funhouse vault where, like, just over time we add in those things. We make them
All the evidence. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well, as more things become taboo, we get more recipes, more ingredients to play with.
But we should shoot something now, and then the day this channel ends, that's when we release that video.
Tomorrow?
We put it in the vault now. Put it in the vault now, and then you don't want to do that.
I was always wondering about the Disney Vault because they're like, buy Bambi on VHS today. It's going in the vault. And like, you know,
it's
you
arbitrary.
But they're controlling demand.
Yeah.
No, I
That's
get
what they're doing.
Yeah.
that.
When you have so much shit to sell,
Sure.
sometimes you have to stop selling it so you can sell other shit.
Right. Except then they bought Hulu and now they're gonna
Yeah,
have it all
that's
digital
not even a thing
anyway, so it
anymore.
doesn't matter.
Well, now it doesn't matter, yeah. Because
I mean, they could potentially go, just kidding, it's in the Disney Vault, and they're like, you just said you're not gonna what? No.
But you don't want to do the Funhouse video in the Funhouse video vault.
I just feel like it's gonna get played at my funeral with so many other things, and
It's gonna get real awkward.
it's
no one's gonna
all
see
gonna
it.
come out.
Remember when James cut together that sweet video of people saying like nice things to you? On your
I do.
birthday?
Birthday.
That was
That was
really
for
nice.
my birthday. Yeah, we'll never release that.
I was in it.
That's
was I
in
in
the, that's
it?
in the Disney
That's
Vault.
definitely in the vault.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you
I don't think you made the cut.
I did.
I think I asked James to remove that
I
part.
mean, I was very stringent with the people like cut out of that video. I
Yeah.
said, Adam doesn't need these negative Nancy's in his life,
Ah.
is what I said.
Dark.
I went
He's
Jew,
moving
Jew,
into
Jew,
his
Jew,
30s
Jew.
now.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of cutting, this podcast is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club, which can sell you razors, but sells you so many other things. They basically can provide everything you need to get ready in the bathroom. That includes shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, and even a peppermint wipe for your sweet, sweet butthole. All of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top shelf ingredients. Won't break your budget. Most importantly, you don't have to go outside to get them. You just load them all up in a box, they arrive, and then you can stock your bathroom to the gills. I like lavender body wash. I've been getting into scents. I'm kind of like Elise was saying with why waste your time with things you don't enjoy. Why waste your shower time with scents that don't tingle, enlighten, and propel you to a new reality? Turn your shower into a total scent experience. Remember I said that.
Experience.
Yep. I didn't use it today. Didn't use it today. Sorry.
You smell terrible.
I'm trying to get through. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to get through my current bar of soap, and then it's nothing but lavender body wash all the way. I used it a few times just to try it out. But you can basically get a sampler platter of all their. You eat off a platter. You can get a sampler box of all of their products, or most of their products, for just $5 to try out and see what you like and see what you want to keep. Oh yeah, I also like the shave butter too. If you're using shaving cream, butter will revolutionize your life because it's clear and it's smooth and it's sheer. If you use shaving cream, it tends to bulk up on your razor and you got to wash it off a lot. With shave butter, it's just like a really thin layer of lubricant, so you can really get to it. It actually makes shaving faster and more accurate because you can also see through it. But for $5, you can get the Daily Essential Starter Set from Dollar Shave Club. It comes with body cleanser, 1 wipe Charlie's, those little booty wipes, and the shave butter, and the 6-blade executive razor. And then you can keep the blades coming for a few bucks a month, add in shampoo, toothpaste, or anything else you need for the bathroom. You can find that at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. That's dollarshaveclub.com/DUDE. Thanks for the sponsorship, Dollar Shave Club. Thanks for stocking up my bathroom. Yeah, you gotta lean on that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All the butter makes me think of is Kramer buttering himself.
That's good too.
For the tan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a turkey.
So Lawrence, are you in pain still?
No, actually, yeah. I almost knocked over my coffee. Weird that I would be clumsy. No, it bizarrely didn't hurt. So the thing that hurts the most is my shoulder, because I'm pretty sure I landed on that.
Oh.
And then when I'm going throughout my day, it doesn't really hurt a lot. Walking around Alaska, which we'll get to soon, actually sucked because I had a backpack. So it was just weight on my shoulder all day. But
That was a fun moment because you guys left a day or two before most of us. Jess and I went up on this gondola to go to this top of this mountain thing, and then there's a trail, and I see Lawrence and Stephanie with their bags.
Yeah.
But they're like, "There's a trail, but you're not going to want to walk that." I'm like, "Well, we don't have our bags, so."
Yeah.
well, they said it was 2.5 miles. So the
3
trail,
miles up, yeah.
it's down the mountain. So it's like,
And I think it was up the mountain.
oh, it goes. Well, yeah. If it
We
goes one way, it
started
has to
going
go the
up,
other.
and then we're like, "No,
Ah.
this is enough.
Yeah.
We're good." We found the crucifix. Bless him. Oh,
Yeah,
What that
Stephanie.
means. Was that where Jesus died in Alaska?
it's kind of weird. They put up a giant cross, and I'm like, and people are like, it's so holy. It's
God's country.
I'm like, Jesus didn't bring it up there himself. This is Alaska. God is not looking at this
He
place.
didn't even know Alaska existed. Think about that.
That's true. Mormon Jesus
he
did,
heard
though.
rumors
Rumblings.
of a snow walkers.
Someday Al Pacino will go there to solve a crime.
God
He won't
is-
be able to sleep.
God has turned a blind eye to all of Alaska. It's no man's land.
That's why Peake wanted to get married there.
I think so.
Godless place.
There's too many mosquitoes. No loving deity would subject his creations to that place.
Juneau is beautiful, though.
Yes.
It's a beautiful little city, population of 32,000.
Yeah, don't want to make sorry, yeah, the way I phrased it made it sound bad. No, Juneau is a wonder of nature.
I was talking about the lack of cell connection that I had for data, almost none, because we're all on Project Fi.
It was like being in the 90s again.
Project Fi doesn't function there?
I guess not.
Well,
T-Mobile
it
was
needs one,
fine. Yeah.
Really? Because I switched to Mint, which is on T-Mobile's network, and I had nothing in the entire city too.
That's
Oh,
strange.
Jess had T-Mobile and she was
Weird.
fine.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Your daily barrage of insults were not coming through.
It was basically text only, which I guess was fine, so we could all communicate with each other. But also, I guess when I got there, I was already in a bad mood because I rented a car and they gave it away.
What?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
heard
was
about that.
fucked. And then the woman tried to explain it, and I'm like,
There's no explanation. Like you do or you don't have this car that I
Well,
paid for.
I paid for it, I reserved
Anyone
it.
can take.
Yeah, and then she said, she's like, no, your pickup time was noon. I'm like, I never got the pickup time. She's like, yeah, we by default give you one at noon. I'm like, do most people get in at noon? Like, what? I don't.
So you had to call ahead without knowing to change your pickup time that they didn't tell you about.
I don't know.
So-
I must have fucked up somewhere along the line, but
It's nonsense. But what did you use to book?
probably kayak. I
Yeah,
think.
that's usually what it
Kayak
is.
defaults to noon. Because I just booked a rental car. And it's also really dumb because you click the date, the start date and the end date for how you want it.
Yeah.
And then you only see it if you look at a certain part on the calendar where it says noon, And it doesn't even look like numbers since it's a word. So you're not even thinking about like where's the date and time.
Yeah.
If you just click that and click that, it'll close it and go away. And then to change the time, there's a slider to the right of the calendar. They have to drag more towards 0 or more towards full, and that's what. But it defaults to noon.
The thing is too, like I rent a car once every 5 years, maybe, like because Lyft and Uber are pretty much everywhere. So
Yeah.
when you travel, you're like, oh, that's fine. Juneau has 4 Lyft drivers in all of the city. Most of us got the same guy at different times on different days. So calling one was like, your Uber's 38 minutes away. And you're like, okay. So you rent a car. But yeah, so they did the thing where they fucking just gave it away, and they're like, the guy in front of you made the same mistake as you, and we just gave him the last car. So we're like, okay. It's already in a bad mood, and it's 10:30 at night, except the sun is
Yeah.
bearing down on us. We're like, what the f-?
That seems to be
It's a
one of the
strange place.
one of the quirks of Alaska. Is since sundown lasts for 4 hours, mosquitoes have a sizable chunk of the entire day to roam out like crazy.
Oh, they love your skin.
That's where Michael Bay should go to film all his movies.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
there-
place.
In the summer in Toronto, there are tons of mosquitoes. It's one of the things I love about Los Angeles is no mosquitoes.
Yeah.
'Cause then
There's
we go to,
mosquitoes almost everywhere else.
I was worried when we went to Austin Thursday night, and all my mosquito bites from when we were there in May had like healed my 30 bites, and I'm like, I better not get any.
How long does it take a mosquito bite for you to go away?
I mean, I also scratch the shit out of
Yeah.
them. I always think of the Flanders quote from The Simpsons when Homer's trying to antagonize Flanders by listing annoying things to him, and he lists mosquitoes, and then Flanders says, "But they're so satisfying to
Fun to
scratch."
scratch,
They
right.
are. It is like.
Yeah.
During Peake's wedding though, there's a part where it was getting hot inside, so we all go outside. And there's like, people were playing games, and Bruce was the game master. Apparently that was his job. It was very unclear as to what he was supposed to do as the game master, except yell at people when they were playing games.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But
Brief aside, this is related to games mastering. We were talking about how like the main attractions in Alaska are stick and wheel and cup and ball.
Yeah,
Or in
basically.
Juneau, sorry. And then a girl at the wedding had a cup and ball. And like she was doing crazy tricks and like popping it, throwing it
Yeah.
under her arm. But Bruce put a stop to that.
Yeah.
She took off running and he tackled her.
How old was she?
She like, I'm gonna say like 12, 13?
maybe.
Anyway,
It's the
sorry.
perfect age
No, it's
for
fine.
cup and ball.
But it was just funny because we were outside and we're like, yeah, about mosquito. Anyway, about mosquito.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes. And it's like we're just getting like bombarded. Like it was just, I hit one that was full of blood, just exploded. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
getting crazy. So then we got the bug spray, and then they saw it as a challenge, so they just kept coming at us. We're like, God damn. So like, it was no fault of Peake's, but we're just like, sorry, buddy, we're all leaving. Like we all left because the mosquitoes
All
were
you're
just
doing
trying to get rid
is
of the heathens, basically.
Trying to murder the mosquitoes that suck blood from you are the female, because they're trying to provide sustenance for their
Fuck them.
eggs.
Yeah.
For
Have you
their-
seen the GIF of it's
net?
the mosquito net, and someone
okay.
puts their like leg on the other side of it, and they're all like, ah! They
These
just
little
can't
needles
reach them.
coming through.
They're like, please, ah!
They're just trying to provide for their.
Cool, find it somewhere else.
Yeah, fuck
Find
off.
an animal
Yeah,
that,
drink from the deers.
yeah.
Here's the problem.
Deers get itchy.
I mean,
If a
Yeah,
deer
they
gets a
swat their
mosquito
tail
bite,
out themselves.
Tails,
yeah, but that's like when shit's all over cows.
saying-
And so they're just get off me. But
pick
if
on-
they get bit by a mosquito, if a deer gets bit by a mosquito, does it have the same reaction that human skins do?
They probably
where
have thicker
it
skin and they don't.
Yeah.
prevents
I
it
bet they
from
do.
whatever what is it,
I
coagulate?
feel like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Benson got a bite, he'd be itchy.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like
I've
most
seen
living
dogs
things are
with
probably allergic
ticks
to it.
on them like the size of a golf ball, and they're like, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm
This-
saying.
this
Is
is
it
my
just
life.
that their nervous system is weak and like less?
I just don't pick
Pussy.
on the mammal that invented space travel. Like, get the dumb porcupine.
Well, I think there's times where you stub your toe. You're like, I'm gonna die!
Yeah, yeah. And
kill me!
and-
Kill me! you're reaching for a gun to try to just. But then there's like a dog. He'd be like, you ready to go out and get really excited and spin in circles and then slam his face directly in a coffee table on the corner and go, we going out? And I'm like, nothing? You're not reeling from that at all? What's going on?
our pain tolerance, I believe, has gone way down because I think we're always sort of in a.
Because we're so important.
It's a perpetual state of bliss. We're like, everything's good and we're always trying to keep it good. Of like more food, more softer beds, heat, seat warmers and handle warmers.
Cut my taint.
Fanta,
Yeah.
more Fanta.
Yeah. My hair's a little itchy. Snip it off. Like we're always humans are trying to make things better and better. And then the minute you're like your nail hurts a little bit, you're like end it.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I feel like animals are attuned to only respond to pain when it's a signal that something is very wrong or that it's life-threatening or life-altering. But yeah, animals will just bash the shit out of themselves, and as long as they're spongy, just roll with it. I don't know. Whereas humans have emotions. So let me display to you the majesty of Alaska.
Look at that.
This is
This is the trailer for Insomnia.
Yeah, I thought a lot about Insomnia while I was
Anchorage,
there.
right? So Juneau's like a little southern, I think. I don't know. So it wasn't like it actually got dark, which was nice because it is the summer. But
So is Anchorage further north?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Man, that's crazy.
I went there when I was a kid and I hated it. It was like if I remember correctly, it felt more like a tundra, less of a woodsy place. Though I have a
Is there a ridge and a dock?
that I know
James
of.
and I are talking about this
Anchor
because
Bridge.
I feel like for me, when I was a kid, you learn a lot about the North. And growing up in Canada, it's a very big part of like the culture and identity. So like it's not common or it's not uncommon. The cremation of Sam McGee is like one of the most famous Canadian poems in the world. But I guess
We all know that
it's not really prevalent if you're from Southern California or North
Well, you got
Carolina,
Florida, baby.
or Texas.
I only listen to The
You know what I
Offspring,
mean?
so I don't know what to tell
He
you.
teaches us about Disneyland
Yeah.
and beaches.
Omar, is
True
that
North,
too loud?
strong and free.
Yeah, it's pretty loud, but I turned it down.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Sorry.
But yeah,
Moms and papas. Dad was sleeping with his daughter.
I'll die there.
Hot.
What, Canada?
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah. Make some more room
Not
for
if
the
I
rest
have
of us.
anything- Not if I have anything to do with it.
No, you let me die, be buried where I want. I want to be put next to Josh's dad.
So
If your plane crashes on the border
out of context, you
No,
sound like a
on the
on the
monster.
border of the U.S. and Canada, where do I murder you?
Niagara Falls. I'll give you the context. So we stayed with Josh Thursday night,
Ugh.
and I get to Josh's house like midnight. We get there, and Josh is all like giddy. You know, you can tell he's got something he's pleased about.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, it gets
And
better.
then I go in the bedroom, and his father's ashes are on my pillow where
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep. And he's like, "Oh, my dad's in your bed."
He didn't pour the ashes out.
No,
They
it
were
was
in the
It
urn.
was the urn.
Yeah, you sent me that photo,
And
and
then,
I
but then
was
he left
frightening.
and went to bed, and I'm like, "What am I supposed to do?" So I just took the urn and like put it on the bar.
Well, the
was
best thing about watching this whole thing is we arrived, and I went into the room, and then I went to Josh and I said, "I'm surprised you didn't put the urn in there." And he went, "Oh." And he went and he put the urn in there, and then you went and saw it, and you're like, "Josh, that's so funny."
Oh,
and then you
it was
tweeted it,
you.
and you sent it to Adam, and you're like, "Adam, look how funny Josh is." And Josh is like, "I am funny," and I'm standing there as the actual architect of comedy, going like, "Well,
But you're always the puppet master behind
I
the
am the
scenes of
puppet
comedy.
master. I just want to be credit."
Yeah, but that's Josh's father that you disrespected.
That's not the first time.
He did it first.
Every time I go to that house, I disrespect that urn. Like when we went there, the last time when we were shooting the sketch, when we went there, and then I found a party mask, like, and I put it on there, and I told Josh now it's easier for him to talk with his dad because he has. It's not an urn. It's
He
the
loves
face.
it. He loves it so much. This is it's beautiful.
He just loves to be
Yeah,
mentioned.
Alaska's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Oh, it looks like reverse lava.
Looks like band.
It's really sad, that whole thing, because you go
Yeah.
there and you go there and go, what majesty, what beauty, and they go, oh, you think that's pretty? Look what it looked like 10 months ago. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
It was actually frozen.
that whole
No,
like,
it was basically out to here
Yeah.
like 10 years ago. Global warming is real.
well, so there's a weird irony when they're basically mad at you for killing the glacier. They're like, global warming is a human problem. Like, we created this. Anyway, do you want to ride a helicopter on top of it? You're like, wait, so
Fill her up.
Yeah, exactly.
Putt, putt,
And you're just constantly, there might be an accidental shot of a helicopter in here somewhere because it's just a constant stream of people spending money out the ass just to like
Is this
take a helicopter.
is this parkland?
Oh,
Is this like national parkland?
Yeah, it's a reserve.
So I mean, part of it is the fact that they don't get any money to preserve the land, so
Right.
they have to figure out commercial ways to make money, so that way they can pay for the preservation.
I could be wrong. Maybe helicopters don't contribute so much to killing the environment, but
It's just everybody in cars all day, all the time.
It's mostly I
And
think
industrial
it's,
stuff,
It's like
too.
freighting and,
So-
and farming. And
well,
stuff.
that's the other thing too. Is like to come see the glacier, you take a cruise ship,
Yeah.
which are supposed to be like the biggest killers of like the
Yeah.
environment.
Put sails on the ship.
yeah,
That won't work.
It's easy.
the problem is like cars are distributed, so you can't fix those. But like planes, there's fewer of them, so if you wanted to retrofit them or clean the exhaust, or like cruise ships, it's easier to do that. Or like if they're all electric, all the pollution's coming out of one power plant or like 5 power plants. Way easier to control than
Nuclear
millions of
cruise
cars. That'd be cool.
Why not?
Spaceships.
Why the hell not?
When we were
Anyway, it's gorgeous.
when we were at the beach this weekend, there was like this yacht that clearly was supposed to go to the marina, but made a
these are gonna be
wrong
embarrassing.
turn, and it was
As
kind
you
of,
do.
you know, when you have that kind of gas to just spend. But like James is kind of talking about the cost of that gas of powering that.
We got a, when we stayed on a boat.
Yeah.
Or we didn't stay on the boat. A friend of ours was doing an Airbnb in San Diego. We got a crash course in how much it costs to take a fucking boat on the water.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the owners of the boat told us it was like $20,000 to go from San Diego to Hawaii one way.
to pay for the gas.
To pay for the
Whoa.
gasoline.
I think they said just to fill up the boat was somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000.
Yeah, and then they'd basically be out of gas by the time they got to
They would do a
Hawaii.
full
They'd have to
tank to get
refill.
Yeah. And it was like,
Yeah.
it was a
that's-
decent sized boat. It wasn't like Dr. Dre's yacht.
Well,
but
that's what I was saying about the whoever, because we were
saw the
like, what kind
documentary.
of person is on this yacht? Because it was a private yacht. Like, I'm pretty sure it was some one person. And they were like, oh, you think it's Rihanna? And I was like, I don't think Rihanna could afford. She could maybe rent that yacht, but I don't think she could
Richard
afford.
Branson.
It would have to be like a Russian
That's the
Rent that
celebrity
yacht.
that came to
oligarch
mind.
or some sort of very, very rich person, because a yacht is the best. They're affronts to God, because you could, for a fraction of the cost of the fuel of the yacht, you could get a private jet that gets you there in a 100th of the time.
Sure.
But you can't sunbathe on
Yeah.
Right.
private
Yes.
jet.
Yeah, I just think it's funny
It is
how
a-
human beings
Can't play
work.
shuffleboard on that jet.
It's a giant FU. to
Yeah.
Basically an
everything.
FU, yeah.
You're like, I could fly, and yes, I would be hurting the environment, but not as much. But instead, I will choose this giant thing that goes slow,
Man.
so I can eat.
Once we figure out solar though, because like
What?
if you think about a yacht out in the fucking middle of the ocean, that's solar energy galore.
I always thought that was the that was the true answer to the zombie apocalypse question, where everyone was always like, "How do you survive?" You're like, "Well, solar powered yacht, right?" Because then you
much it.
fish.
And then you drew it with crayon on your notebook paper, and you're like, dude, I did it.
They're colored
So
pencils.
I shouldn't even talk about this.
But
I could get in a lot of trouble.
trouble.
Did you buy a yacht?
No, I was talking
you
with
went on
this
a comedy special?
this
with
weekend.
Kind
I
of
was
Funny?
talking with someone about this because I was talking about how I love I think it comes up in like World War Z, the book, where they talk about like going to the coast and then putting your back against the ocean. I love the thought of we're trying to avoid this apocalypse, so we're just going to go to the coast,
Sure.
put our backs against the ocean, and that's how we're going to ride this out. And then I shouldn't even talk about this. My friend told me about this idea that a friend of his had for a movie called Zombies, where it's zombie bees, and the only way to escape the zombie bees
Get in water?
is, well, to go to the ocean, but then the zombies end up being able to navigate the ocean. I don't want.
Zombies.
Or it was like the zombies.
Are you worried that
Well, the
idea is
zombies-
so good that someone's gonna steal it?
Is that your
Maybe,
concern?
and the zombies.
You don't need to be
the
worried.
human zombies also would be able to walk across the ocean floor. Like, but then I reminded him that happens in Pirates of the Caribbean
Why
And
don't you call them
Jason-
zom humans?
because they're bees.
No, I know the bees are.
All right.
I shouldn't even talk about this.
We're done with zombies, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
what-
Like after iZombie goes off the air,
No,
then
because-
we're done.
No,
Yeah.
Dying Light
because
2, Dialogue.
well, what's
one?
his face
Oh, yeah,
making
Zombie
World
Light
War
2.
Z 2?
Oh,
Yeah,
true,
that's
yeah.
Been talking
David
about that for
Fincher is
years.
making World War Z 2 right
When's it
now.
happening?
Weird.
Right
Show it to
now.
me. No, it's not. I don't see
Why
it.
does he make these weird movies? What's wrong with you, David Fincher? What's your problem? You're a great filmmaker. You can make good movies.
He always
He
makes
can
good
make
movies.
zombies.
I know, but why does he? He's like the David Blaine of directors. He's like, I will make this movie blindfolded. Why? Why do you need to do that?
I don't know. I think he just wants to work with
bored.
Brad Pitt again.
He's already good.
He's like, I missed you after 7.
He always makes something great,
Uh-huh.
but I'm like, you started in -5 with the material. Why? Why did you do
He
that?
didn't need to make another girl dragon tattoo. And
I
he's
know,
like,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. He's like, I'm going to remake this internationally renowned film trilogy,
Hang on a second.
but just the first one.
Because World War Z wasn't a bad movie. It just diverted so much from the source material. Perhaps the second one will be more in tune with the source material.
I know, maybe, but why is he making the second
don't
World
know,
War
whatever,
Z?
paycheck.
Unless he's a sociopath who likes to set handicaps for himself as a filmmaker to prove how good he is. But imagine if he didn't.
Yeah.
Imagine if he started at 0.
I get it though. Sometimes you get bored of climbing on a house and you want to do it really drunk one day.
Imagine if Lawrence
ice
climbed
pick to
every
the eye.
house sober.
I'd be really good at it. I'd be the best. I'd be the
But you'd
David
be
Fincher of
bored.
house
I'm
climbing.
going to put this out here. When you were talking about how much you love climbing,
Yeah.
unfortunately, as someone who loves climbing, but someone who also falls, you're an enemy of climbing as a whole.
That's true.
You're
must conquer
you're
it.
hurting the climbers, the rest of the climbers. I too was a climber as a boy, and climbed responsibly and never fell. But you know who hurt the climbers? My best friend's younger sister, who decided to climb onto the fort that my best friend and I had made, and were planning on charging the other kids in the neighborhood nickels
What?
to enter upon
Hey, is
during a hot summer.
Sorry, this is winding up to be a really great story, but I do have to do an ad read.
Okay.
I apologize. No. We'll come back
Okay.
to it. It's just like I could
Social
see a 10-minute runway down the stretch, and
Yeah.
I do have to get this in
Okay.
there. So, but you're gonna like it because this podcast is sponsored by Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yes!
It's Marvel's only match-3 puzzle RPG mobile game experience. You can download it for free today.
Do it.
I really enjoy that game. I'm out of it now, to be honest, but I've debated getting back into it. I just don't think. I think I just got to move. Kind of like Elise rereading Harry Potter all the time. I feel like I've tread that ground fully at this point. James is playing it right now.
Shout out to our alliance, wakanda.com.
I thought it was.
guys-
Oh wait, no, you said
I
it
would
should
say
have
it
been.
should have been Wakanda.com.
I see.
I don't think we had enough letters
Do
for
you,
it.
do you have special bullet points you need me to hit? Do you want me to just talk about how great this game is and why?
Sort of. There are some things they would like said.
Okay.
So in Marvel Puzzle Quest, you can create a custom team from the Marvel Universe featuring such characters as Iron Man, Black Panther, Deadpool, Rogue, Gambit, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and more. I think it's pretty justified in saying that game has the broadest reach in Marvel Universe that I've seen. Ultimate Alliance had pretty much everybody, but this game does too.
It's broad and relevant is what I like
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, they introduce characters I've never even heard of.
Yeah, it's actually pretty educational. To wit, Marvel Puzzle Quest has a ton of in-game content for Ant-Man and the Wasp, as they are featured in the Growth Industry event going on now, and they have Ghost coming to the game really soon, which, if you're not familiar, is one of the villain characters in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the film, along with a number of new supports like the Quantum Realm or Wasp Gauntlets to equip to your new characters. Yeah, it's great. If you've ever wanted a game that has like cumulative experience and you can just throw time into and have a fun time with, it is definitely that game.
It's a match 3, but every time you match, you're accumulating points in those colors, and then those colors associate to a character's power. They fire off, and if you're a fan of anything in the Marvel universe, it's stupid fun how it all works together and how they actually There's a good example. There's so they have different star versions of characters. There's a 4-star version of Rocket and Groot, and there's the one of don't push that button, and it's Groot will auto move basically the tiles for you for 4 turns because it's supposed to be the bomb that explodes in the movie. You're like, this is so, and then it's the whole
There's
thing
a
with
little animation of him walking.
it's actually got me into reading comic books now too. Where I started reading the Hawkeye series that they redid recently.
Oh yeah, the new
That's
Hawkeye?
Good.
And I can tell the devs super love Hawkeye because they do the whole thing where it's like he has a move called because boomerangs, and that's like a line from the comic, and then he does the thing where it's like bullet arrow, acid arrow. There's a whole comic panel where he's firing every single one of those arrows. Like, oh my god, they're like these guys are fans of comics, and they do a really good job of implementing the game. It's like nothing ever feels alien. It's always like these powers make sense for these characters the way they made it work at a match 3. I don't know. It's my favorite superhero game.
Without going too much into it, I think one of my favorite things, and this is something I mentioned at an Inside Gaming podcast when Titanfall was coming out.
Oh yeah.
That it's one of the few things that I've played that is like, it understands it's an online experience, so it continually keeps the game fresh by updating that experience. So a good example is the Ant-Man and the Wasp thing is happening in conjunction with the movie's release. So if you follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe with any sort of interest, there's always some sort of game element that you can participate in that draws you into hype for the movie franchises and stuff that comes out.
Yeah.
They tie the two things very well without it feeling forced. So as Infinity War is happening, you're fighting Thanos in the game. And stuff like that is like super cool. And Christmas time, there's Christmas things happening.
Yeah.
I love when games change because they
What kind of
understand
Christmas
people. Are
stuff?
What?
What kind of Christmas stuff?
Well, they'll do
A lot of tokens.
Well, they'll do like special Christmas giveaways, but then it'll even snow in the game and stuff like that. It's just that's great.
It's magical.
They update it more than I think anyone anticipated that they would.
Yeah.
So it's a really good game that actually they listen to the audience a lot. They're always changing stuff up. So there is actually a community behind it, and like James and I are part of it. Play it.
You used to be able to buy roster slots with ISO.
Do you guys still play with Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel's in our
there.
alliance. Yeah.
Okay.
So is John Reisinger.
So yes,
Wakanda.com.
you can join such Marvel luminaries as Adam, Joel, and John. I have Black Adam. I'm trying to think of John. Nah, never mind. You can download Marvel Puzzle Quest using the link in the description, or go to. Sorry, I got too tussled up thinking about Marvel. d3go.com/dudesoup, and new players can get 3 free tokens from the Partners in Crime Vault that possibly include Ant-Man, Wasp, and other great rewards to add to your collection. So
5-star Wasp.
5-star Wasp, that's a good one. So thank you, Marvel Puzzle Quest. Yeah, it's a great mobile game. One of the best match 3s I've ever played, and I've played a lot of them. Better than Honey Pop. There, boom, put a stamp on it. I know, weird. So yeah, d3go.com/dudesoup, or the link in the description. Check it out. It's very fun. Let's take a brief aside. Omar, some fellows in the chat are saying that the stream is not synced.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth trying to fix at the moment or not. Wasp's actress is so hot. Yeah, Evangeline Lilly. I'm glad she's finally getting a
back.
lead.
Who do you want to play as, Janet or Hope? Because you can choose from either.
both.
You got
Yeah,
them both.
Right now, you can
Michelle
only-
Pfeiffer's time she already had Catwoman.
Right now, you're only Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, though, right?
Yes.
Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Scott Lang. Yeah. But it's Pym Particles. It's pretty awesome.
That movie was pretty good. Has
Cool.
anyone seen it yet?
Not yet.
This
Not
isn't
yet.
Funhaus, but
Just
man.
haven't gotten
They
a chance to
updated.
yet.
They updated Drax, so he's a lot better now.
We could go see it tonight. Except
Maybe.
you want to go to the driving range and
I
golf
do.
balls.
Oh, you could do both.
I do.
When did you become an old white woman?
I love going to driving ranges. You know,
My
it's-
grandma really enjoyed it.
Last
I
time
mean, I
went-
used to play golf when I was a kid, but I don't really have a taste for just playing 9
green.
or 18
Yeah,
holes
yeah.
on the green.
Uh-huh.
But I do love, that's how I shattered my hand, was at the driving range.
I did it.
Another quick aside, Omar, since I said that, getting various reports that it's synced for some people and desynced for others, so it may not be something.
Yeah, it seems fine on my phone. I'm just gonna
Okay.
ignore it.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching live and have sync issues, just give it a reload maybe. But we're gonna move on. All right, well, we're running a little short on time. I guess we can hit this quickly. So this, actually, Omar, sorry to distract you yet again. Gonna need you to tap that hot topic button because we got a hot topic on our hands. Boo! Oh man, he's on it. Yes. Yeah, we gotta get a better team thing.
The Hot
Anyway,
Wheels font?
huh?
Is it the Hot Wheels font?
Was it?
Like it, yeah. It
I just-
definitely looked like it.
I looked up flame font on the internet, and that's what they gave me. So
That's Hot Wheels.
all right. So there has been an incident where somebody was mean on Twitter and then got fired. So Jessica Price is kind of the figurehead in this particular incident. A fellow coworker also got fired, presumably for So there's a report on Polygon. Other reporters are trying to picking up on it basically.
Real quick,
Yeah.
before this one, the last time I remember a story like this was, I forget his name, Adam Orth or something?
Yes.
He was the
Yeah.
Xbox guy.
He just popped off on some dude for complaining the Xbox was always online.
What did
Yeah.
you say to him?
Oh, chat. Sorry. Table that real quick. James,
I wasn't going to say anything.
you had a
Oh yeah,
fort.
your fort story.
I apologize. I totally lost
No
the thread
worries.
there.
It really isn't going to go on that long. It was just that my friend and I found some trees that we were like, this is perfect. And then we started building a fort up there.
Corey?
And then we realized, that we could run a hose, and then we could have a hose, and it was going to be like, the hose would hit the leaves, and then it would spray down, and then you could play up there
Holy shit, that's
during the hot summer. And we were like, we'll start doing this, and then we'll charge the kids in the neighborhood to come cool off in our hot wet fort or whatever. And we only had a few more things to finish building for it, and then his younger sister climbed up, and then, because she's not a climber, fell off.
Was she drunk?
Landed on a rock, smashed her nose open,
God.
and so the punishment for that was that it was on his property. His mom came and then demolished everything we had worked so hard for, and we spent the whole summer poor, all because she wanted to climb and ruin our fun.
If that had gone your way, imagine you being like a successful club owner today.
I'd be the next Elon Musk.
Well, James,
No.
she's not the only woman who's ruining everyone's fun. Sorry. Hit that hot topic button again.
Oh, okay.
God, I love that guy. Okay, good. Before we get into this, trying to think of how to preface this. I would encourage all of us to not pass judgment on what happened because we don't know. I think it's probably good to say off the top, we don't know what happened. We don't know all the details. What it reminds me of, honestly, is Allison Rapp used to work for Nintendo Treehouse and got fired when some stuff came out. It's another situation where we have a certain visibility on it because the internet is open, but people choose what to show, and that can influence your perception of events. So the events as we perceive them, I want to be very clear about that, is Jessica Price was a writer for Arenanet who works on Guild Wars 2. And she published a pretty long Twitter thread about writing for MMOs. The thread's actually really good. Very, very perceptive, thought-provoking. If you're interested in game design or narrative design in gaming, I encourage you to read it. Basically talks about how when you're designing for a character that isn't known, a player character, not a Lara Croft, not a Master Chief, somebody with known quantities, you have to basically write, and she makes the analogy, you have to write them as though they are Bella Swan in Twilight. Somebody who doesn't have an existing personality really, it's just sort of an insert for the player. That's true. I've played a lot of games like that. They tend to work pretty well. Now there is a influencer streamer goes by Darior. I wish I knew how to pronounce that. At least maybe with your French.
I don't know how he says it.
I don't either. But posted a what I consider pretty respectful, engaging, and constructive series of replies. I guess I'll just go ahead and read those just for the sake of context. They write, really interesting thread to read, okay emoji. However, allow me to disagree slightly. I don't believe the issue lies in the MMORPG genre itself as your wording seemingly suggests. I believe the issue lies in the constraints of the living story's narrative design. When you want the outcome to be the same across the board for all players' experiences, then yes, by design you are extremely limited in how you can construct the personality of the PC, or player character. But if instead, players were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't just on the checklist for an achievement that forces you through all dialogue options, then perhaps players would be more invested in the role-playing aspect of that particular MMORPG. Nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread. Not bad. I've certainly been part of and seen much more negative interactions on the internet.
So she got fired for that?
No, she presumably got fired for what followed. So she quote tweeted that and said, today in being a female game dev, quote, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job. A little biting, not so bad, but she kept tweeting. Like the next rando asshat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me, as if, having worked in game narrative for a fucking decade, I've never heard of it, is getting insta-blocked. PSA. Ooh. Continues on. Let's see here. Just trying to. I mean, all the links to this stuff are going to be in the description, so yeah. I encourage you to go and read and make your own decision. Since we've heard a lot of man feels today, let me make something clear. This is my feed. I'm not on the clock here. I'm not your emotional courtesan just because I'm a dev. Don't expect me to pretend to like you here. Goes on.
A lot of venting going on.
Yeah, kinda. The attempt of fans to exert ownership over our personal lives and times are something I am hardcore about stopping. You don't own me, and I don't owe you. So, bearing in mind that the person that is basically the brunt of this reaction is a streamer of the game, somebody that has pretty good PR relationships with the company, that's not a great reaction. But I also get, and have been guilty of this myself, when you get a lot of negativity, you tend, like there is one straw that breaks the camel's back, and it can vent on someone who's not exactly expressing that negativity. I've done that before. I've gone onto Reddit, and some dude will just say something, and I'm like, man, you fucking assholes, you're always talking this shit. And that individual's like, what the hell, man? I just said, and I've apologized. Like, I've done that before, not assuming that that's what's happening now, but presuming that it might be that's what happened. So she got fired. This happened on July 4th.
Oh.
She was dismissed on July 5th, along with a coworker that, by her accounting, stuck up for her.
Was this happening as you were falling off the roof?
It may have been. Yeah, my colliding with the concrete wall may have corresponded with
Wow.
Jessica's hitting tweet.
Butterfly effect, man.
So what this has done is it is, and by the way, when she said all this on July 4th, a lot of the, and again, I didn't see this, this is me reading what happened. The community, the Guild Wars community, was pretty upset by this reaction and this attitude. So they kind of raised a bit of a stink about it. I don't know if it amounts to regating, which is, when people raise a bit of a mob to attack somebody.
Forgive my ignorance, what was she fired for? What was the specific reason?
So the president of Arenanet posted this statement on the forums. When it full screened, it kind of, there we go. So that was Mike O'Brien writes, recently 2 of our employees failed to uphold our standards of communicating with players. Their attacks on the community were unacceptable. As a result, they're no longer with the company. I want to be clear that the statements they made do not reflect the values of Arenanet at all. As a company, we always strive to have a collaborative relationship with the Guild Wars community. We value your input. We make this game for you. So it has kind of sparked this discussion about, it, in a way, it kind of relates to a lot of the backlash over Last Jedi and like how communities start to feel like they own something they don't make, that they're just participants in, which is not completely wrong. I think it's a give and take, but people are trying to decide where that give and take starts and ends. I think Jessica Price is right to say, on my own time I can say whatever I want, but that's not said in a vacuum. And when you work for a company, you are a representative of them.
Sure.
So it's an interesting topic.
It sets a really scary precedent, I guess, or I guess a realistic one. I don't know, like.
A lot of game devs are very scared about that. The idea
Yeah.
that an angry community base can make business decisions on behalf of the company.
Sure.
Was there?
I'm on no side here. I'm totally Switzerland. I'm like, because I don't know all the facts. I'm like,
I think that's the wisest
I
thing to
think I'm
do.
looking at it from a very bird's eye view of it's a scary sort of thing where you can vent on an open forum and then lose your job. That's kind of scary. That's all.
The interest, like, do you feel like if you lost your job for something you've said to someone on Reddit, like for popping off, like you just said, like there's been times you popped off and the other person's been like, whoa, you're directing this at other people and not at me. Do you feel like if you lost your job, that would be justified? Because Rooster Teeth has a very transparent and open communication with their community. It's like a big part of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that would be okay?
At Rooster Teeth, I would be surprised. I feel like I might get talked to. Mm-hmm. I might get warned. Mm-hmm. Hey, you pushed it a little too far. I'd be shocked unless I said something really bad, if I got fired for that. That would be surprising to me given Rooster Teeth's culture. Given a game developer culture, somebody who, Arenanet doesn't really have a legacy of being rowdy with their player base or firing people for being public about their opinions. So this is kind of an outlier in those regards. But yeah, I would be shocked if I got fired for saying something online, especially given that I have as far as I know, pretty good history with Rooster Teeth of not causing problems and being a pretty good worker. Which is, again, if it's possible to separate that from this particular issue, a couple of things that I encourage you guys to consider before passing judgment is that In my experience, which is just my experience, a pop-off like that isn't typically fireable. It's bad, but it's not fireable unless there's other things going on, which I'm not saying there are. I'm just saying sometimes when something like this happens, there were other things leading up to it that weren't fireable by themselves, and then something else happens that draws a lot of attention and eyeballs to a thing.
Well, she also used name calling.
Yeah, she called him an
kind of-
asshat, and she
yeah.
did recant that a little bit. She said, maybe I shouldn't have said asshat, I should have said condescending jerk. Still not the best, especially given that he was actually pretty respectful and engaging, I thought. But
Yeah.
she had to deal with a lot of shit that isn't that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's also important to acknowledge.
This is something, and again, this is an issue that is not a majority issue. It's something that the people at this table deal with, but probably not something that most of the people watching deal with. But when you comment on someone in some way, you're only seeing your one comment. But the people who are on the other end of it are seeing your comment and about 100 other, and a whole host of vitriol and whatever. And so it's hard to always manage those along the way. So I'm sure someone could do the work and dig through her thread and read all of the Twitter replies that she got to those things.
People have definitely been doing that.
And like counted how many were positive, constructive, and how many were just pure negativity, or how many were completely random or whatever like that.
Well, we're guilty of that.
Kind of see
where,
what she sees,
like,
too.
I feel like a majority of us, a lot of times, are very much showered with praise. There's a lot of positivity, and I've seen in things are tagged in. I made this art for you. I love what you guys do. This video series is great. Then every once in a while, it's odd that it feels inverted, or at least that's the way I see it. But that one person will come out and say, "You did this," and then you go, "Whoa!" and then you hone in on that. When James always talks about this, we should probably be addressing the positivity much more than the negativity. And I try to at least give it a favorite or something, and try not to focus in too much on the negative, or just try to take it as constructive criticism, not respond, maybe type out a comment and then delete it, just because it's like therapeutic,
That's
get it
cathartic.
out. Yeah,
You're so popular, though.
not really.
Must be a lot of that happening.
It's
to
been like
happen.
4 days since someone's tweeted at me.
So what prompted her to do her Twitter thread in the first place? Was there some other community post, or was there something, or did she? Because I think it's strange that she was like, you know what, I got to get this off my chest.
She prefaces it with, since I spent all kinds of time saying it on a Reddit AMA, and I haven't talked about actual game dev on Twitter in a while, here's a thread about writing for PC character in an
Oh, had they just done an AMA?
presumably.
I wonder how that AMA went. I don't know. I think it's a weird situation. I think in this situation, I'm curious what the language was in her employment contract, or whatever it may be, with Arenanet.
So that's a big point that she's been bringing up in interviews since then, is that she was told by Arenanet that they encouraged her to be like vocal and that the company would have her back, and now she feels betrayed by Arenanet for firing her over what appears to be one bad incident with a fan. So
I'll say one thing. As someone that gets a lot of negativity on social media from people, gender or whatever you want to say about it, I think that now as a part of education, where children are socialized in general ways, they should specifically be taught socialization for like online communicating.
Netiquette.
I think it would be very. Did you say netiquette?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
I'm not the one who made that up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I wish I did.
Yes,
clap for that
netiquette
person.
as part of like young childhood socialization, I think would be extremely valuable in teaching people how to conduct themselves and how they might be perceived in communicating to, especially with communicating with strangers on the internet.
Yeah.
It's different. It's one thing when your friend, says something to you, but it's a whole other thing when you're reaching out to a stranger.
And I think that may tie into the straw that breaks the camel's back for her, because I didn't read her whole thread, but in you reading his thread, right?
Her thread is pretty informational,
but in you reading his response, it doesn't seem. It seems like here's like, oh, that's awesome. This is great information, and here's something else that I'm providing. there is a certain aspect which I could see someone reacting to, which is, but why are you criticizing my process? You're here. You're here because of the thing that I work on.
Yeah.
You love it, and yet you're so like. I mean, people are open to criticize the thing that they love, but you're here, and But this is. It got to the point because of this thing that I made. This thing that I'm showing you, this blueprint that I'm putting out here, is why it got to this point. And you're here, so it's weird.
She's not infallible.
No, of course not. Of course not. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in her head.
Sure.
I could see how you might be like, after all
Yeah.
this, and now, and then it's a very casual tone. He's
Yeah.
very informative
I was gonna
too.
say
I
that-
feel like I learned a lot from both of them.
Yeah,
But-
I felt like that escalated real quick.
It did seem like it was just a tiny a feather going,
Yeah.
and then all the pieces
Yeah.
fell off
I'm
the
very
shelf.
familiar
Yeah.
with condescension, and he didn't sound condescending to
No,
me.
that-
But she may have taken it.
That's one thing that's also hard to read a lot of times, where I'll read a tweet and I'll be like, what the fuck? And then you read it in a different tone and go, oh, they're being funny. Okay.
yeah.
Because it's sometimes hard. We always do that thing. I think a lot of people are guilty of this. When you read something and you go, perfectly frothed milk, a shot of cold pressed espresso. It's not written like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it
That's
is.
that's the voice in my head doing that. And a lot of times we associate a negativity.
Like a Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah. Oh,
But I mean,
it's
some
because-
It's because
weird.
of bad netiquette.
The thing is, though,
You
oftentimes
need to use emojis
though,
and sarc marks.
Oftentimes, it is directed that way, though.
just at you though.
Exactly.
I think it's written in a way that allows people to bail out if they are called out on, like, people that know what they're doing, know how to bake in negativity, but
it's-
also
Absolutely.
also rip those
And I
rug
think
out if
that's
they
what
need
you
to.
see a lot with
Yeah.
like the Women's March, where people will say, "Why do you need to have a march?
yeah.
Why women have all the right?" And it's like it's very disingenuous questioning because you know exactly what you're doing in trying to bait that, and I think that's what it is. Yeah.
A couple of good remarks here in the chat. Jimbo Man writes, I work in a social media department for a large company. There's never really an issue if an employee shares anything about the company. The only time it's bad is when they're representing the company in a light that's uncalled for. Yeah, what I like is, let's see here, Executor, which writes, I worked for a company that was planning on firing a floor manager, however they didn't have enough to fire him. So they gathered a heap of complaints and sat on it. Then presented the idea to him that they wanted to appoint someone else as a manager. This provoked him, where he threatened to assault the higher-ups, therefore gave a reason to fire him. I've seen that happen at many companies where this person
Dirty.
is uncooperative, and I'm not saying that Jessica's this, but it does tend to fit a certain pattern where somebody's uncooperative, provoking at work, maybe hard to work with, and it's like, this is like, shit, she's not good on the team, or they shouldn't do that, sorry. They're not good on the team, but nothing is fireable yet. But once something is big and visible, and everyone on the team wants them gone, then even as a manager, it gets hard to say, well, I can't fire her, when everyone else is like, look, she's like talking shit. They are talking shit. Sorry, I'm trying to make it as...
Another example of this is Josh Olin.
Oh, gosh.
He's been let go from multiple companies for
It still gets hired somehow.
being open on Twitter. He was the community manager for Call of Duty Black Ops, I believe. He was the
Can you give me
Treyarch.
code? Can you give me code? Give me
Well, no, he got let go.
new codes. Where you
I
at
forget what. I'm trying to remember which company he was at the time. Either it was Riot or 3D Realms, but he sided on with someone who was, or I forget exactly what it was, but it was something racially provocative or something, and they were like, and he's gone, and like jump to the next place, and stuff like that.
There's
so.
a weird situation. This has got almost a business issue at a certain point where people are hired because they have followings. I don't know how big her Twitter following or whatever is, but like companies will be like, ooh, we can hire this person who knows how to write and has 30,000 followers.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now, legally, we as a business aren't allowed to do anything with that Twitter following, but
Sure.
maybe this will be good for us because maybe they'll tweet about the game being made and maybe
Sure.
we don't have to hire influencers to do blah, blah, blah,
They,
blah, blah, right?
They see the number, they don't see the engagement report, which
and
is
so,
like,
and so
only
that,
2,000
like,
people are
and so it's
actually
very
interested
much
in
like,
what you're
oh, your voice on social media is your own or whatever, stuff like that, thinking that it'll be good. But then as soon as it's bad, they're like, whoa, 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 that's not cool. I think it's weird because was she like a community? She was a writer.
saying. Writer.
She was a writer.
People still put
So
my keys or
this
my
guy you're
own.
talking about was a community manager, which it's like
believe so.
your job is how you present yourself.
Yeah, I
to
was
the
only using
online
the example
community.
of someone who you could see the basically the theater of Twitter was
Yeah.
thing was said, person was let go. That's why I brought up Adam Orth earlier, where he went off representing Microsoft, got let go, and then he was basically like, fuck y'all, and then he got hired somewhere else and
Yeah.
said, fuck y'all again. I don't know where he's at now.
And they're politicians. They say
Then,
whatever they
Skydance.
want. Nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't have a conclusion or judgment on this. I would encourage all of you, no matter how you feel about it or what presumptions you're bringing into it, to embrace that we don't have the full story. Because Jessica's free to do interviews. People at an Arenanet are not really. So you're never going to get the full story, even if everyone had total freedom to talk. So just remind yourself that you don't know every aspect of it, and maybe don't make assumptions about motivations or who's doing what for what reason. And leave it at that.
Yeah. Can I lighten the mood real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
After Peake's wedding, we all went back to the Airbnb where most of everyone was staying, and everyone was very excited because there was a VHS player upstairs,
Oh, yeah.
and they had a VHS copy of 1999's Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, a Star Wars
Ooh,
film.
Of course.
Jacob's seen a VHS player before.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up with one.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not that young.
Is he 16, 17?
I mean,
He may have had a VHS player.
he may have grown up with one the same way we grew up with like Betamax.
Maybe.
Which
It
is
was
that.
there, but it was always
Yeah.
like combined with
just
the
in the
thing.
background.
But either way, Lawrence made it his civic
Tried
duty
so hard.
to get Episode 1 to play on VHS because he wanted to watch the trailers. And
I wanted to know what trailers
he
were in
wanted
front
to
of
pan
episode
and
1.
scan, and he wanted that
Yeah.
garbage. So he was trying to
video quality.
because we couldn't all fit in the room with VHS player, so he brought it downstairs.
It wasn't even plugged in the room it was in.
Yeah, so he wanted to hook it up.
There was no AV situation that made that VHS player remotely work in that house.
So it didn't work. And to Lawrence's credit, he had brought a Chromecast with him, hooked it up, logged into his Amazon account, and we all watched Episode 1 together.
And it was great.
But you
That was
didn't
a really
get the
good time.
trailers.
No.
No trailers.
I might look it
There's
up on
probably
YouTube
like
later.
a McDonald's commercial.
Oh, there might be, because it was still distributed by Fox back then. And I'm trying to think like what 2000s era movies would Fox slap in front of fucking Star Wars? I don't know, man.
Guarantee you there's a Burger King commercial or something on there.
Maybe.
The
I hope
Phantom Whopper.
The best part was watching it with Jacob, and anytime there was a name of a character or a type of fish that came up, he knew the name. He was right on top of it. He knew the line from the movie. It was
great.
it was a beautiful
Well,
moment.
apparently there's a grip of references to Episode 1 stuff in Solo.
They mention a fish that it's one of the fish that when they're like, there's always a bigger fish, and they say it
Well,
like multiple times.
There's another one that Jacob shared later. Apparently, Woody Harrelson's character mentioned almost. He mentioned like one of the people who were watching the pod race. He mentioned that he shoved her off a balcony or something, like somewhere in Solo. That's weird.
Nice job, Solo. I didn't see. The thing is, I didn't realize that Solo took place in the Star Wars universe.
No, you did.
I didn't realize it was part of that film. So I'm glad that it reminded me. I haven't seen it actually. But
Solo's great.
We still haven't seen it. Not because I'm like, it's going to be bad, but just can't muster the enthusiasm.
That's probably most people. I think a lot of people said, "I'll wait."
That's a bummer. It was a whatever. Who cares?
No, some people like it.
Tell you
some
what.
people like it. From what I've heard about it, I think I'll hate it. So that's also why I'm not jumping. I hated Terminator Salvation
I have
because
no
they were like,
opinion.
you know what, we should hire Anton Yelchin to do all the lines from Terminator in the gruff voice
Holy
that Michael
shit.
Bean doesn't have.
Speaking of Terminator, have you guys seen the
I
set
need to read an
photos
ad.
from the next Terminator?
really need to read an ad.
With like, it can wait.
I can't. We're already over time, and I have 2 more ads to fit
Oh
in.
my god, read your ad.
2 more?
Yeah.
Wow.
Read
It's
read
4. I
your
told you I
ad.
fucked up.
Linda Hamilton.
If you want to buy furniture solo, you could do that with
works.
Burrow. Burrow sofas are handcrafted in North Carolina and shipped to you in boxes, and you can assemble them yourself. I did it. I built my Burrow, and it was pretty easy. There's like a lot of latches and clasps you got to snap in there. It's actually you don't need any tools. The seats are held together with these cool little latches, and then the pegs screw on with these thumb bolts. So yeah, it was really easy to put together. You can customize it online. You can pick your armrest height, the color of the fabric you want, how many seats you want. Goes from like 1 sofa up to love seat up to a 4-seater. So yeah, if you're looking to deck out your apartment, or maybe you're moving out on your own or something like that, Burrow is a great way to start building up your seating, because Lord knows you're going to have to drop your ass in something at the end of the day. Might as well be a delicious and luxurious Burrow couch. Shipping is fast and free, unlike the rest of the furniture industry, they say. And you can enjoy 30 days on your comfortable Burrow risk-free, or try out Burrow at one of their partner showrooms today. So you can either look one up, go try it itself, or try it with their 30-day risk-free trial. And you can get $75 off your purchase by going to burrow.com/dude. That's BURROW.com/dude for $75 off your purchase. I recommend it. They sent us one. It was really easy to put it together in under 30 minutes. Now I got a nice 2-seater love seat in the exercise bike room of my house. So now I can bike my ass off and then plop it right in a nice Burrow.
You should put it on the roof.
That's a really good idea. All right, I'm going to move the Burrow up to my roof. Again, burrow.com, $75 off your purchase. Thanks for the sponsorship, Burrow. Okay, let's net hard real quick.
Do you mind if I
What are you
do
gonna say, Elise? About Terminator.
I don't know, Linda Hamilton or something.
Oh yeah, she looked good. Still looks hard.
She was in that one movie that we watched. Remember? Didn't we watch it?
There's no time for this. There's no time.
Sorry.
I'm loading up my tabs here. All right,
Oh,
so
this time.
the winner of last week was Oho Hojo Sama, the YouTube channel that only pulls clips of anime women going oh ho ho ho.
Uploaded a new one
I vote for the other guy.
since the last one. That's
Already,
that's
huh?
fine.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Uh-oh.
I guess we might be in a lull here, but it's been going for years and years. So it tends to come and go, fits in spurts, if you will. Turns out the oh ho ho that I recognized last week was from a porn, which I thought. The context was a young girl went into like a sex club and started blowing all the dudes real good.
Cool.
Which one was that one?
Let me see if I can find it again. And then the matron, the grand dick marshal of the sex club, saw this young buck rolling around blowing these dicks, and she was like, I ain't having this. So then she took to the floor and was like, I'm gonna show this young upstart how it's done. And then they both sucked dicks as hard
That's
as
the problem
they
with
could.
hentai. There's too much.
It's too
There's
complicated.
It's too complex.
Because it's
Is it that?
some guy with the mind of a
That
13-year-old.
one, with the purple hair?
don't.
I mean, that looks like a
It
porno.
looks like it, but I think that's just normal anime. Yeah, that's like
she's got
Slayers or
nipples.
something.
Looks like a wrestler.
Again, it's still just normal anime.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
I was listening to an NPR review of a new anime
There
that
isn't
came
time,
out.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Just have to save it.
The salt.
No, there's always time for porn. Yeah, I don't know.
Smell it.
This one kind of looks like it might be porn. There's like a bunch of dudes crouching around. I don't know.
So who's the contender?
No. Okay, contender is Vive Hypnosis, which is not VR, for you ask, but it is free, so it's got that going for it. These are free erotic hypnosis DVDs, or sorry, MP3s. My bad. Man, a DVD would be great. So this Vive, V-I-V-E, intercapped, provides a variety of self-hypnosis MP3s for you to listen to.
Litter box.
Yeah, the subjects of which are fairly interesting, and there's a lot of very intense warnings on these, basically saying that once these plant ideas in your brain, it will be hard to wipe them clean. He also provides like a clean slate hypnosis. So if you are convinced that you are subhuman, or you're a litter box,
Butt play?
Pet play.
Oh.
there's also one that convinces you that you have a dick. For you, yeah, Packer.
Wet
Wait,
humiliation.
it convinces you have a dick?
Yeah, it's for ladies, I think. The idea being that you pack your crotch, and then the
that's-
hypnosis convinces you that that is in fact a real penis.
Yeah, it's for ladies.
That is, yeah. I like this one. This one's real quick and dirty. Swirly is an 8-minute one designed to make you give yourself a swirly. Quote, this is short and evil and not even a trance, and yet it will leave you with a slowly growing desire to give yourself a swirly, just once. Nothing more, nothing less. Dare to listen? Yes, I do.
My favorite thing about hypnosis is there's always like a disclaimer. Like, they're like,
doesn't work.
now it only works if you want to cluck like a chicken.
Yeah.
That's not really hypnosis, right?
Yeah.
You're just letting me do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Omar, can we crank that a little bit? I can't hear it in here.
That's all I'm going to do.
I'm not
Place
convinced.
a
I don't
desire
want
in
to
your
dip my head in the
mind,
toilet.
craving,
It's pretty quiet.
craving
Now,
that
now,
is
hold,
going
now,
to grow
if you
over
don't want to
time.
already stick your head in the toilet,
Stronger
this
and
hypnosis, it will
stronger.
not work on you, to be clear.
This is your last
But if you
chance
do,
to get out.
this hypnosis will ensure
if you
that you do.
continue
Okay, but I
does.
don't.
Okay, then it
He
won't
We'll
work.
end up having.
I can't get it to
burning
work.
Do you have
fire
anything that will work for
to
me?
give yourself a
How do you
sword.
feel about sticking a chocolate bar up your asshole?
I'm indifferent to the idea, but I don't think I'd ever do it.
Okay, then it's not going to work on you because you got a negative attitude. Okay, that's the problem.
So I'm the problem.
You're the problem. Okay? The hypnosis works, just not on you.
I think. Oh yeah, heat string will give you a trigger that will immediately put you in heat. So it's like it's a yarn you wrap around your wrist to make you get the rut.
Listen to
like-
the,
I like
listen
when-
to the weekend.
I like when you can tell something's written by someone who doesn't spend time around human beings. Like they spend
Nothing
more
to
time
do.
around farm animals
Yeah,
or something
nothing
like
to
that
think
than they do
about.
human beings. So
Just relax.
This will get you to milk real good.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's awfully quiet in here.
It's probably
the
for the best,
watery
or maybe
feet.
it's a frequency we
feel so
can't hear,
sleepy.
I'm behind
and
the
it's
TV.
just influencing
So
us.
drowsy.
Does anyone else feel like they are
All
in
your
heat?
cares are so
Yeah.
far
You have to
away.
listen to the 45, whole 45
You
minutes.
lazily
And then you
watch
want to make sure.
45 minutes.
I draw
It takes a
the
long time to
little
convince yourself that you're in heat when you
I
wrap
mean,
your
I
arm
might
around your wrist.
masturbate, but that's because I'm bored of this
barely
fucking
registering
hypnosis.
in your mind.
Let's
Well,
see.
you could actually probably find hypnosis porno.
the FAQs
Like,
there.
what do you mean?
Oh, where you
That's the
hypnotize a
theme
woman,
where a
yeah.
guy's like,
Just like an animated GIF of
Yeah.
balls slapping.
basically.
So just
Meat
yeah, there's
spin,
a
yeah.
there's a deep clean file for those who have listened to something and now they don't like the effects. What is a curse? A curse refers to a file effects that stay permanently either active all the time or triggered. The other category is temporary files. Those only work for a specific time. They have fantasy files, walking trance files.
How often? Is there any way to see
Conditioning
how
files
often
there.
this is updated? They have a Patreon. Oh, there's something on the right that I had a date.
I am
Bending.
Scroll down.
Yeah, I saw that Spendin.
Latest blog was July 3rd.
2018. Yeah. Dark Freya. A good friend of mine is going into the erotic hypnosis game, and I thought supported by doing some
Game.
advertising. All right. Erotic hypnosis is taking over the world.
Nope.
So
Okay.
also it's a dude with kind of a thick accent. Is it? Yeah,
Oh,
I know, weird.
Heavens!
It's a big old dude.
What a shocker!
Oh, here's some bullet points here. Skills. Let me into your mind and I will. Bullet point number 1, turn you into a slave drone.
One word.
Bullet point number 2, fuck your mind. Bullet point number 3, turn you into a girl. All for free! All caps. So thank you, Vive, for your service to the world.
What's the game here? What's the squeeze?
Mark.
What does he get out of all this?
Yeah.
To give us such magical tools for free.
I
It's
think
basically him and Jesus Christ, so
he likes spreading the good word.
I guess.
Spreading something.
He's also, here's my Tinder profile.
There's some testimonials down here. Mackie
This-
Mac says this was amazing.
He's
Like when Prometheus brought man fire.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, Frank is pretty
This totally
good.
works.
Five
I have a
hypnosis.
7.5-inch penis. When hard, my erection shriveled up and went limp. I want to prove to my girlfriend that I could stay hard no matter what. She's laughing her head off now. Is that
So-
a testimonial or?
No, was
A
it a
YouTube
1-star
comment.
review or a
Oh, back to
5-star?
Mackie Mac.
Those are the only 2 testimonials.
Oh boy.
So clearly it's blowing up.
Can you do Subway? I just want to see what Subway is.
Oh sure, yeah. Hold on. Let's go.
Here's if you had a 7.5-inch penis, James, would you say you have a 7.5-inch penis?
I would thank my lucky stars.
It is 7.5.
Yes.
Okay.
No more.
This
No
is
less.
a little fantasy for men in which you ride home with the subway, and a very evil and very kinky hypnotist happens to get onto the same car. Me. What could possibly go wrong?
Date rape.
What a fucking asshole.
Ew,
God damn.
This is something for the little boys.
It's like, and perhaps when
Yeah.
your eyes are upon here, I slip something into your drink.
Yeah. You've been hypnotized.
Ooh, someone threw up on that subway seat.
Yeah. Time to drag you to my
You're feeling
one-bedroom
sleepy.
studio.
Listen,
yeah.
you guys
Because
are-
of the hypnosis.
You guys are joking, but quote. Imagine you're riding the subway home and suddenly I sit next to you, and before you can even protest, you're deep in a little mind control fantasy.
Run from this
I don't
man.
really want to spoiler too much, but I can tell you that you will very much end up fucked.
And he's got a warning that it's a rape
That's
fantasy.
a threat, by the by.
At least he lets you know.
I was gonna say it's really weird to read something, like read a paragraph or even a sentence where you know that someone had to stop halfway through writing it to jerk off.
Yeah, because they're into it.
This
I love
is. I'm a little disgusted by
tomboy.
this person.
Yeah, he's pretty
Repugnant.
Oh, I saw Piggy.
it. Piggy what?
fractionation loop
A little fractionation loop to drive you
into
deeper.
your piggy state of mind.
At least you can't go any deeper.
Just loop it, let it fractionate you, and slowly sink into
I'm gonna eat
worthlessness and
corn dogs for
humiliation.
dinner.
That's
Every
unrelated to
people
this
lose a bit more
hypnosis, though.
humanity. Oh no! Did you listen to the piggy hypnosis?
The what?
I mean, I
little
genuinely,
cones.
I genuinely
Ice
hope
cream
that
cones, you know.
someone's having a
I
good
can't tell
time.
a story. Never mind.
this is just
He
innocent
is.
fun.
We know
Tell a
he
story
is.
I know,
ice cream
but
cones.
he's seeking, he's
How
trying
much
to
you
spread his
enjoyed them?
happiness to the world.
As he spreads
can't
up.
As he sits next to you on a subway and whispers in your ear. All right, I guess we can vote now. So, God, I really wish I could find that clip, because that triggers me. let
There's
me tell you.
that one. What about the bottom right?
I still think that's Slayers.
Oh.
There's a lot of
Sure.
tits in Slayers. I think it might be that one actually. At least you may have found it.
This is a 7-minute porno?
Isn't that
Didn't
it?
you try that one?
Yeah, I think I did. And clearly it has to have the watched bar under it. Wait a minute. No, yeah, that
I was
wasn't
to say
watched.
we watched that one.
Fuck.
Can we watch the Final Fantasy X one?
That's not really.
Oh, we
a
did last
ho-ho.
week. Sorry.
He goes ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I mean, depends on which translation.
Wait, I
play.
think it's this.
Ho, 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 ho.
Maybe.
高笑いとゴージャスな身なり。ま
Nope.
さにお嬢様の安全帯のような子だ。
No.
Japan's the most perfect city.
No.
No.
Why is his face all weird? Oh, right,
What?
anime.
Japan's country.
City. I meant Tokyo, sorry.
This is gonna kill me now. I gotta find my.
I wouldn't
point.
worry
Not
about
real
it.
far.
We'll waste 40 minutes while I do this. All right, let's vote for it. Adam, Hojo, or Vive Hypnosis.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the anime because it's a little safer than this guy.
Okay.
Christ.
There's porn there. All right, Elise, who are you
Porn
voting
safe.
for? You already
So-
said you were voting for Vive.
Adam doesn't feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna vote for this.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
I'm always uncomfortable.
James, what are you thinking?
I'm also voting for Oh Ho Ho
Damn, a sweep.
because those anime characters want to be there, doing what they're doing.
Presumably
they
the-
have been hypnotized.
Well, if you go to the
into
site, you
purposes.
want it.
No, it can't be.
Yeah.
Presumably, people that go to this website and have themselves
All right,
hypnotized.
let me blow your mind. Say you download one of those things, you go into your roommate's room while they're sleeping, you play it, and then all of a sudden now they're a fractional piggy.
Well, there's no consent there. That is wrong.
Fractionation.
That's
Fractionational
pretty much what
piggy.
this guy's selling, though. He's like, imagine we're on a train together, and then I end up inside you.
Yeah, I know, but you
neat.
could use it. You could use this power for evil.
You know that
You
going
couldn't
in.
use anime for evil. No one could.
That's-
It's only for good.
Speaking of going in, I'm really
mostly
frustrated
true.
that I can't find that clip. A lot of positive memories
you dreamed
associated
it.
with that. Maybe I did.
Eh, I'm sure someone will find it.
It was pretty good though. I mean, the dick blowing was all
What's
right.
that?
Keijo maybe? No, I don't know. Could be anything.
Don't click
The
on
short
it.
answer is it's anime.
Wow, she was on a whole
That
pyramid
was
of dudes.
fast.
That was fast. Sometimes they're
Hold
fast.
on. This Markiplier, he's challenging me to not laugh at one of his videos.
I accept your challenge, Mark.
Yeah. Not a true laugh.
Before we bid you farewell, one final reminder that this podcast is sponsored by Casper. Casper is a great company that provides wonderful mattresses on the internet. This show would be nothing if it did not sell things to you through the internet. So why go outside? Buy your mattresses online. They're not just a mattress company either. Casper offers a wide array of products to ensure an overall better sleep experience. I can attest to that. I had a Casper mattress, but a normal box spring. However, somewhere in moving, I guess it just got loosened up or something. And it got really loud, like super squeaky and rattly and just didn't support like it used to. Maybe it got broken or something. So I ended up buying a box spring off of Casper. But since Casper's so high tech, it was a new wave box spring. So instead of being just like a big wooden box, it was essentially this like railing and then this roll of wooden planks that rolled out over it. So it came in like a really slim packaging, and it's super sturdy. It makes no noise, and it arrived right away. It's way easier than like going to a bed store, buying something, having it delivered, having a bunch of dudes barge into your house, try and hypnotize you, and you're like, no, get out. Just drop the box spring on. Now I'm a fractionalized piggy. Casper's mattresses are also made in the USA. So if you're a true American and you get drunk and fall off of houses, you should want to support Casper for keeping the American lifestyle free, because that's what America's all about. Casper is super easy. You just order online. It's delivered to your house or apartment in a compact box. And it's got free shipping and free returns to both the US and Canada. Speaking of free returns, Casper has a 100-night trial. So within 100 nights of buying your Casper, if you decide you don't want it, you can just return it. And that's that. They say that since they intend for you to spend a good chunk of your life with this mattress, so they want you to be very sure it's comfortable for you, doesn't cause pain, gives you a good night's sleep. So you can try it, and if you like it, keep it. If you don't, return it. It's risk-free. On top of that, You can get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting Casper.com/dudesoup and using our promo code DUDESOUP at checkout. Terms and conditions apply, but that's $50 off select mattresses by going to Casper.com/dudesoup and using our promo code DUDESOUP at checkout. I've had a Casper mattress for the last 2.5, 3 years, and by now, it's usually when a mattress starts getting the little like sink. It's still fine, it just has a sink, and then about a couple years after that is when it starts hurting my back or getting weird. But Casper is still fluffy, still a delicious, firm marshmallow to sleep on every night. I keep calling things delicious. I don't know why.
Eat it.
Do what works.
Eat the mattress.
Is that one of the hypnosis?
Bit in the mattress once or twice. So once more, that's $50 off select mattresses at Casper.com/dudesoup and using our promo code DUDESOUP at checkout. Thanks for the sponsorship, Casper. And I apologize, audience, for not finding that one porn clip, but I don't remember what the name of that show is, but it's good.
It's for the best.
Yeah,
That's for the best that you don't know offhand the name of an anime porno.
nothing but good-natured competition between ladies honing their craft.
So much out there. You don't need to watch the same stuff. Find new things.
I think of
Adam's life in a nutshell. Find new things.
Hey, you know what? Get rid of that folder of all your downloaded porn.
there are two kinds of gentlemen.
Get rid of it.
There are gentlemen that have their golden oldies and they go back to them in times of need.
As
Some
most
guys-
people.
Yeah, you think?
I think everyone goes, what's that? The first video I jerked it to when I was 16.
Oh, there's no way I could find that now.
Ask your dad for the tape.
Make a documentary about it. Your search for
finding
the
it?
jack off video.
Yeah, interviewing all the 85-year-old porn stars.
I do remember the first porn website I went to, because I didn't have much of an imagination when I was 14 and got dial-up internet for the first time. Went up to the address bar and was like, nudes.com.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's what was there, so A+.
I was into
Wasn't
starting to
porn,
get into actual professional wrestling around the time the internet was a thing, and I'm like, you couldn't. Google wasn't really a
Oh,
thing, so you
China?
type things. You'd go to like rollerblade.com, and then there's a chat room people who like rollerblades. Okay, so I'm like, I'll go to wrestling.com. As knowing me, I can't spell wrestling very well, so I went to wrestling, which ended up just being a porno site.
Oh.
Yep, and I'm like, interesting. So this is on the internet now, huh?
Tori Wilson was there.
Yeah.
That dude's pitting that other dude.
One time my cousin had a stack of floppy disks. He's like, here, I'll show you the good stuff. And he showed me like, it was like a lesbian porno, but it was just two blobs going at each other. It was just so pixelated. I'm like, I guess, sure. You guys have it so good right now. You have no idea.
It's
all
funny you bring
clear.
up going to individual websites. Somebody was lamenting that the internet at large has just condensed down into the big websites. People go to Facebook, Reddit, and Google, and like that's it. Nobody goes to wrestling.com, or people go to WWE, obviously, but the whole shotgun of garbage websites that have dumb chat rooms and like visit counters and baked-in music that doesn't exist anymore. There's no like just stumbling upon somebody's photo blog of their trip to Minnesota.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's the spirit of hard netting right there.
The internet ballooned, and now we need someone to just tell me what the important stuff is, because I don't have a lot of time. There's no time.
Condense it for me. There's too much
At least
internet.
there's no time.
There's no time.
Speaking of, there's no time. We're out. We ran over. Apologies for that, but you guys are just too dang interesting. I didn't want to cut anyone off except when I had to.
Matt Peake got married. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to Matt Peake. It was a wonderful ceremony. I wish nothing but the best for that beautiful man and his wonderful wife. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys are beautiful as well. If you're watching live, thank you for having a first membership. Thank you for joining us. If you're not watching live, hey, thanks for watching or listening, however you're doing it. I appreciate it. And I hope if you enjoyed this podcast, I'd appreciate it if you recommended it to a friend. But you don't have to. We all got porn to watch or self-hypnosis to do. So I understand, but just your participation is enough. And we'll be back next week. So thank you guys for watching. Till then, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, sometimes I'll load into Splatoon 2, got that Octo expansion going on. But yesterday, or I think it was July 1st. Yep. It's a good DLC, all right? But there were a lot of posts about how, like, since Pride Month had ended, everybody had to stop being gay and all. I don't know, it's just weird stuff. Things you wouldn't expect to see in Splatoon.
Those are official.
Yeah.